There comes a time in life when the people we hold close, the ones we trust, care for, or deeply cherish, start treating us differently. Maybe it's subtle at first. A delayed response to a message, a missed invitation, or a moment of indifference when you expected warmth. Over time, the cracks grow wider. Their actions, or lack thereof, speak louder than words, leaving you with a sinking feeling that you've become less important in their life. It stings, doesn't it? That silent rejection, the absence of acknowledgement, and the overwhelming question that lingers: what changed? It's easy to feel lost in moments like these. It's easy to think that something within you is broken, unworthy, or unlovable. But let me tell you this: those thoughts, though natural, couldn't be further from the truth. You are not defined by the way others treat you. Your worth does not waver because someone fails to see it. Just like the sun shines regardless of whether someone stops to admire its beauty, your value remains intact whether or not someone acknowledges it. Yet, when faced with indifference or dismissal, we often forget this truth. We internalize the pain, looking for flaws in ourselves rather than understanding the bigger picture. Pain in these moments is unavoidable, but suffering is not. The difference lies in how we respond. And here's where Zen wisdom comes to offer solace. Life, as unpredictable as it may be, always offers us an opportunity to rise above, to learn, and to reclaim our power. It teaches us that what truly matters is not someone else's validation, but the peace and love we cultivate within ourselves. Every great change begins with a small shift in perspective. Think of this as a chance to take a step back, not to give up, but to breathe, to observe, and to understand the situation from a place of clarity. This step back is not a sign of weakness. It's a profound act of self-respect. It's a way of saying, I will no longer pour my energy into a space where it is not valued. Zen and Buddhist philosophy teach us that life flows best when we embrace detachment, not as a cold indifference, but as a way to free ourselves from the chains of expectation. When we release the grip of needing others to validate us, we begin to see life with fresh eyes. We discover that peace, strength, and joy are not found in external approval, but in the sanctuary of our own heart. Reclaiming your worth is not about proving yourself to others or demanding their attention. It's about turning inward and finding that unshakable foundation that has always been there, even when others fail to see it. It's about realizing that your essence, your kindness, wisdom, and light is not diminished because someone overlooked it. The ocean doesn't lose its depth because someone decides to skim its surface. When someone no longer values you, it can feel like rejection. But rejection is often a redirection in disguise. It's a nudge from life, urging you to focus on what truly matters: your own growth, your own happiness, and the relationships that uplift and nourish you. In these moments, instead of clinging to what was, ask yourself what could be. What could you achieve, learn, or embrace when you stop investing energy into those who don't appreciate it? Silence, too, becomes a powerful ally. There's a strength in choosing not to argue, defend, or chase. Silence speaks volumes. It protects your dignity, preserves your peace, and gives others the space to recognize what they might be losing. And if they don't, you still win because you've chosen yourself. This is not a story of loss. It's a story of reclamation. It's about standing tall, even when the ground feels shaky. It's about watering your own garden instead of waiting for someone else to bring you flowers. It's about remembering that the greatest relationship you will ever have is the one with yourself. The path ahead isn't about bitterness or closing yourself off to the world. It's about creating balance, setting boundaries, and choosing relationships that feel mutual, fulfilling, and kind. It's about recognizing that while some doors close, others open, and the spaces they lead to often bring greater joy and meaning than you ever imagined. So, if you find yourself in that place of doubt, questioning your worth, know this: you are enough. You have always been enough. No fleeting opinion or shifting relationship can take that away from you. The journey you're about to embark on is one of strength, self-respect, and profound growth. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And along the way, you'll discover that the love and value you've been searching for have always been within you. Take a deep breath. This is your moment to rise, to learn, and to thrive. Everything you need is already inside you. It's time to trust yourself and let go of anything or anyone that doesn't honor the incredible person you are. When the people you hold dear start to drift away or stop valuing your presence, there's often an instinct to hold on tighter, to fight for recognition, to insist on being seen. Yet, deep down, there's a quiet whisper urging you to step back. It feels counterintuitive, even painful, but stepping back is not an act of defeat. It's an act of courage, an expression of self-respect, and a gift of space that can lead to clarity and peace. Stepping back allows you to untangle yourself from the emotions that cloud your judgment. It creates room to reflect, to breathe, and to understand. The wisdom of this act lies in its ability to transform how you see yourself and the situation around you. Detachment, when practiced with intention, becomes not an act of abandoning others, but an act of returning to yourself. It's about reclaiming your energy and honoring the truth that you deserve, relationships that nurture, not drain, your spirit. Detachment isn't about shutting down your feelings or becoming indifferent. It's about cultivating a sense of inner stability that isn't shaken by the actions of others. When you step back, you acknowledge the reality of what is happening without trying to force it into something it's not. You allow people to show you who they are, and in that truth, you find your own freedom. The wisdom of stepping back also lies in what it teaches you about boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they are invitations to mutual respect. By stepping back, you signal that your energy is valuable, that your time and emotions are not to be taken for granted. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop overextending yourself for people who fail to appreciate your efforts. It's an act of self-love and a statement that your worth is not tied to someone else's treatment of you. When you step back, you learn the power of observing without reacting. In the space of detachment, you see things more clearly. You notice patterns you might have missed in the heat of emotion. Perhaps you realize that the person's actions have little to do with you and more to do with their own struggles. Or you see that you've been holding on to something that no longer serves you. In stepping back, you become a witness to your own life, free to make choices that align with your values and your peace. Detachment also fosters resilience. When you no longer tie your happiness to someone else's behavior, you become stronger, more grounded. You learn to stand tall in your own worth, no matter how others perceive you. This doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you stop letting your feelings control you. Detachment is a form of freedom, and in that freedom, you discover a deeper, steadier kind of joy. Stepping back allows you to create a space for healing. It's in this space that you reconnect with yourself, rediscovering what brings you peace, joy, and fulfillment. Too often, we lose ourselves in trying to please others or meet their expectations. By stepping back, you return to your center, you start to prioritize your own needs, your own growth, and your own happiness. This is not selfishness, it's self-preservation. In the stillness of stepping back, you also give others the chance to reflect. Sometimes, people don't realize the impact of their actions until they're met with silence instead of resistance. By stepping back, you allow them to confront the space you leave behind. Whether they choose to change or not is up to them, but the act of stepping back ensures that you are no longer pouring energy into a one-sided relationship. Detachment teaches you the art of letting go with grace. It's not about slamming the door shut. It's about leaving it ajar, knowing that you've done your part. It's about releasing control over outcomes and trusting that whatever unfolds will be for your highest good. This trust doesn't come easily, but with practice, it becomes a source of immense strength. There's a profound wisdom in recognizing that not every relationship is meant to last forever. People come into our lives for different reasons, and sometimes their chapter in our story comes to an end. Stepping back allows you to honor what was while accepting what is. It's an act of gratitude for the lessons learned and a commitment to moving forward with an open heart. Detachment also helps you understand the difference between attachment and love. Attachment says, "I need you to be happy." Love says, "I want you to be happy, even if it's not with me." By stepping back, you free yourself from the need to control or possess. You learn that love is not about clinging, but about giving space to grow. In stepping back, you discover the importance of self-care. You begin to nurture yourself in ways that you may have neglected while focusing on others. You find joy in the simple things: a walk in nature, a good book, a moment of quiet reflection. These small acts of self-love become the foundation of your healing and growth. Stepping back is also an act of humility. It's an acknowledgement that you cannot change others, only yourself. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop carrying the weight of other people's choices. You learn to let go of the need to fix, to please, to prove. Instead, you focus on being the best version of yourself, for yourself. The wisdom of stepping back lies in its ability to teach you patience. In the space of detachment, you learn to sit with discomfort, to trust the process, to allow time to reveal what is meant to be. This patience becomes a source of peace, a reminder that you don't have to have all the answers right now. When you step back, you also create room for new opportunities. Relationships, when they reach a point of imbalance, can block you from experiencing other connections that might be more aligned with your values and needs. By stepping back, you open the door to possibilities you may not have considered. Detachment also deepens your spiritual growth. It reminds you that everything in life is transient, that clinging only leads to suffering. By embracing this truth, you cultivate a sense of peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. You begin to see life as a series of moments to be experienced, not controlled. Through the act of stepping back, you learn to trust yourself more deeply. You realize that you have the strength to navigate challenges, the wisdom to make the right choices, and the courage to let go when needed. This trust becomes a guiding light, helping you move forward with confidence and grace. Stepping back doesn't mean you stop caring about others. It means you start caring for yourself as well. It's a balance, a dance between giving and protecting your own energy. This balance is what allows you to thrive, even in the face of challenges. In the end, stepping back is not about retreating from life, but about engaging with it in a way that honors your peace, your worth, and your truth. It's a journey of rediscovery, a path to freedom, and a profound act of self-love. When you embrace the wisdom of stepping back, you don't lose anything. You gain everything that truly matters. Stepping back creates space, but it is silence that fills it with meaning. Silence has a language all its own, a quiet but powerful force that can communicate more than any words ever could. When you choose to remain silent, especially in the face of conflict or disregard, you shift the balance. You reclaim control over the narrative, not by arguing or pleading, but by holding your ground with dignity. Silence is not a void, it is a presence. It demands attention, respect, and often creates a ripple of self-reflection in those who once dismissed you. Silence is an act of strength, not weakness. It's the conscious choice to pause rather than react, to let your absence speak for itself rather than filling the space with words that may not be heard. There's an undeniable power in refusing to engage in chaos. In choosing silence, you give others the opportunity to feel the weight of their actions, and you preserve your own peace. This is not about manipulation. It is about self-preservation and allowing the situation to unfold without unnecessary noise. In silence, you create clarity, not just for others, but for yourself. Words often cloud emotions, stirring up more confusion than resolution. By remaining silent, you can reflect on what truly matters. You step away from impulsive reactions, replacing them with deliberate and thoughtful responses. Silence becomes a shield that protects you from saying things you might regret and gives you the time to consider what's truly worth your energy. Choosing silence also means you resist the urge to justify your actions or explain your worth. When someone undervalues you, the instinct is to defend yourself, to prove why you matter. But silence allows you to say, without words, that your value is not up for debate. It sets a boundary that says, I will not beg for what should be freely given. This quiet confidence often speaks louder than any justification ever could. Silence is also a test. It reveals the true intentions of those around you. When you stop speaking, stop reaching out, and stop filling the gaps, you learn who makes the effort to meet you halfway. The absence of your voice allows others to reflect on what they may have taken for granted. Sometimes, this reflection leads to change. Other times, it simply confirms what you already knew, that your energy is better spent elsewhere. The power of silence lies in its ability to shift the dynamic of any interaction. When someone expects an argument and is met with calm, they are forced to confront their own behavior. Silence acts like a mirror, reflecting their words and actions back at them. In this stillness, they may realize the impact of their choices, or they may not. Either way, you remain grounded, untouched by their chaos. Silence also helps you detach from the need for validation. It teaches you to rely on your own sense of self-worth rather than seeking it from external sources. By stepping back and saying nothing, you learn to find comfort in your own presence. This self-reliance becomes a wellspring of strength, allowing you to navigate life with greater confidence and peace. In relationships, silence can be transformative. It is a way of resetting the balance, of giving space for reflection and growth. When words have been overused or misused, silence becomes a way to restore meaning. It allows the other person to miss your voice, to feel the depth of your absence, and to recognize the value of your presence. If they don't, then their actions reveal their priorities more clearly than any argument ever could. Silence can also be an act of compassion. When emotions run high, words often escalate the tension. By choosing silence, you allow the storm to pass without fueling it further. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It means acknowledging them without letting them dictate your actions. It is a form of emotional maturity that prioritizes peace over winning. Practicing silence requires discipline. It's not about avoidance or shutting down. It's about knowing when to speak and when to hold back. It's about understanding that not every situation requires your input, not every battle is worth fighting, and not every comment deserves a response. Silence is selective. It's the art of choosing when your voice will have the most impact and when your absence will speak louder. Silence also nurtures patience. In the quiet, you learn to wait, to let situations unfold naturally rather than forcing outcomes. This patience is not passive, it is active restraint. It is the understanding that time often reveals what words cannot. In this waiting, you grow stronger, more centered, and more resilient. When you embrace silence, you also open yourself to deeper listening. In the absence of your own voice, you can hear more clearly, both the words of others and the unspoken truths beneath them. You become attuned to the subtleties of communication, picking up on nuances that might otherwise go unnoticed. This kind of listening fosters understanding, even in difficult situations. Silence is also a way of protecting your energy. Speaking, especially in heated or one-sided exchanges, can be exhausting. By choosing silence, you conserve your emotional and mental resources. You focus your energy on what truly matters rather than wasting it on those who don't deserve it. This preservation of energy is not just practical, it is empowering. It reminds you that your peace is worth more than any argument. In a world that often values loudness and constant communication, silence can feel countercultural. But it is precisely this rarity that makes it so powerful. Silence stands out. It commands attention without demanding it. It is a quiet strength that doesn't seek approval or recognition, but commands respect nonetheless. The practice of silence is deeply rooted in mindfulness. It is about being present, observing without judgment, and responding with intention rather than impulse. This mindfulness allows you to break free from reactive patterns, giving you greater control over your thoughts and emotions. In this way, silence becomes not just a tool for communication, but a path to personal growth. Silence also teaches you the art of letting go. When you resist the urge to speak, you release the need to control the narrative. You let go of the need to be understood or validated, trusting that your silence is enough. This letting go is liberating. It frees you from the weight of expectation and allows you to move forward with grace. There's a profound dignity in silence. It is a way of saying, I know my worth, and I don't need to prove it to anyone. This dignity is not about pride or ego. It is about self-respect. It is about standing firm in your truth without feeling the need to defend it. In moments of silence, you also connect more deeply with yourself. You hear your own thoughts, your own needs, and your own truth more clearly. This self-connection is the foundation of strength and resilience. It allows you to navigate life with greater clarity and purpose. Silence, when practiced with intention, becomes a source of empowerment. It is not the absence of action, but the presence of wisdom. It is a choice to rise above the noise, to protect your peace, and to honor your worth. In this way, silence is not just a response. It is a gift to yourself and to those who take the time to listen. Silence has a way of revealing truths that words often obscure. In the quiet, you begin to recognize patterns, not just in others, but within yourself. The space that silence creates allows you to confront an essential question. What determines my worth? It's a question that cuts deep because so often we tether our value to how others treat us. But what if your worth had nothing to do with anyone else's opinions, actions, or acknowledgement? What if it existed independently, unshaken by the world around you? Your self-worth is not a currency that fluctuates based on the approval or neglect of others. It is a constant, as steady and enduring as the roots of an ancient tree. Yet, the way society operates often pulls you away from this truth. You are bombarded with messages suggesting that your value is something to be earned through achievements, relationships, or status. But Zen and Buddhist teachings remind us that your worth is intrinsic. It is not something you acquire, it is something you uncover within yourself. The first step to understanding this is to untangle your sense of self from external validation. When someone praises you, it feels good, but it doesn't add to your value. Similarly, when someone dismisses you or fails to appreciate you, it does not diminish your worth. These external reactions are fleeting, impermanent. They are reflections of other people's perceptions, which are shaped by their own experiences, biases, and struggles. Tying your self-worth to such shifting sands only creates instability. When you ground your sense of worth internally, you build a foundation that cannot be shaken. This starts with recognizing that your value is rooted in your being, not your doing. Your worth is not tied to your accomplishments or the roles you play. Whether you succeed or fail, whether you are praised or criticized, your essence remains unchanged. This understanding frees you from the exhausting cycle of trying to prove yourself to others. To deepen this understanding, you must confront the narratives you've internalized about your worth. From a young age, you are shaped by the expectations of others, parents, teachers, peers, society at large. You are taught to seek approval, to measure your value by how well you meet these expectations. But these narratives are not the truth of who you are. They are constructs. Letting go of them requires introspection and courage. It means challenging the beliefs that no longer serve you and replacing them with a deeper awareness of your inherent worth. Recognizing your worth also involves embracing imperfection. Society often equates worth with perfection, creating an impossible standard. But Zen philosophy teaches that imperfection is not a flaw. It is a natural part of existence. The concept of wabi-sabi celebrates the beauty of the imperfect, the transient, and the incomplete. You are not valuable despite your imperfections. You are valuable because of them. They make you human, unique, and real. Another key aspect of understanding your worth is learning to separate your value from your relationships. It's natural to want to feel valued by those you care about, but their inability to recognize your worth does not diminish it. When you base your self-esteem on how others treat you, you hand them power over your sense of self. Taking back that power means recognizing that their actions say more about them than about you. This detachment does not mean you stop caring about others or the relationships you hold dear. It means you stop letting those relationships define you. Love and connection are beautiful, but they should enhance your sense of self, not replace it. You are whole on your own, and no amount of external validation can add to or take away from that wholeness. Understanding your worth also involves practicing self-compassion. Often, you are your harshest critic, holding yourself to standards you would never impose on others. Self-compassion means treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend. It means forgiving yourself for mistakes, acknowledging your efforts, and appreciating your journey. This practice strengthens your sense of worth by reminding you that you're deserving of care and respect, no matter what. Gratitude is another powerful tool for recognizing your value. By focusing on the qualities you appreciate in yourself, you shift your attention away from what you lack. Gratitude transforms your perspective, helping you see yourself as a source of strength, creativity, kindness, or resilience. It reminds you that you bring something unique to the world, even if others fail to notice it. Establishing boundaries is a vital part of honoring your worth. When you allow others to treat you in ways that undermine your dignity, you send a message to yourself that their approval matters more than your well-being. Setting boundaries is not about pushing people away. It's about creating a space where mutual respect can thrive. It's about saying, "I value myself enough to protect my peace." Mindfulness plays a crucial role in cultivating self-worth. By being present with yourself, you learn to observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. This awareness helps you recognize when you're internalizing external negativity or engaging in self-criticism. Mindfulness allows you to replace these patterns with affirmations of your intrinsic value. It helps you stay connected to your inner truth, even in the face of external noise. A strong sense of self-worth also involves understanding the concept of interdependence. Buddhism teaches that all beings are interconnected, yet each has its unique role and value. Recognizing your place within this web of existence reinforces your worth. You matter not because of what you do, but because of who you are, a vital thread in the fabric of life. Investing in self-care is another way to affirm your value. When you prioritize your physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, you send a message to yourself that you are worth the effort. Self-care is not selfish. It is an acknowledgement that you cannot pour from an empty cup. By taking care of yourself, you strengthen your ability to show up fully for others and for life itself. Letting go of comparison is essential in understanding your worth. When you measure yourself against others, you lose sight of your own unique strengths and qualities. Comparison creates a false hierarchy of value, one that diminishes everyone involved. By focusing on your own path, you honor your individuality and recognize that your worth is not relative, but absolute. Your value is also reflected in your ability to grow and adapt. Life is a constant process of learning and evolving. Embracing this process, rather than fearing it, reinforces your sense of worth. Each challenge you face, each lesson you learn, adds depth and richness to who you are. Growth is not about becoming someone new. It's about uncovering more of the greatness that already exists within you. Recognizing your worth means acknowledging that you deserve joy, peace, and fulfillment, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are. It means allowing yourself to receive love, kindness, and abundance without questioning whether you've earned it. Your worth is not conditional, it is a birthright. Ultimately, understanding your self-worth is about reclaiming your power. It's about standing firm in the knowledge that you are enough, exactly as you are. It's about living from a place of authenticity, where your actions, choices, and relationships align with your truth. When you understand your worth, you stop seeking it outside of yourself. You become unshakable, rooted in the quiet confidence that you are, and always have been, whole. When you begin to see your worth as independent of how others treat you, a powerful shift occurs. You no longer feel tethered to the actions, opinions, or behaviors of others. But understanding your worth is only the foundation. The next step is learning to let go without bitterness. Detachment, in its truest form, is not about shutting yourself off from emotions or relationships. It's about releasing what no longer serves you while maintaining your peace. Letting go is one of the most challenging things we face, yet it is also one of the most liberating. It's natural to feel hurt, betrayed, or resentful when someone wrongs you, or when life takes a turn you didn't expect. But holding on to that pain only prolongs your suffering. Detachment is not about ignoring the hurt. It's about acknowledging it, processing it, and then choosing to release it. Bitterness, on the other hand, keeps you stuck in a cycle of blame and negativity. The Zen approach to detachment allows you to let go with grace, transforming pain into wisdom. At its core, detachment is about acceptance. It is about seeing things as they are, not as you wish them to be. When you cling to how things should have been, you resist reality, and resistance creates suffering. By practicing detachment, you align yourself with the flow of life, trusting that each experience has its purpose. This acceptance doesn't mean you condone mistreatment or disregard. It means you stop fighting battles that only drain your energy. Detachment requires self-awareness. It asks you to examine your attachments and understand why they hold so much power over you. Often, attachments stem from fear. The fear of losing control, of being alone, of not being enough. Recognizing these fears is the first step in overcoming them. When you confront your fears with honesty, you begin to loosen their grip on your heart. Another aspect of detachment is understanding that letting go is not the same as giving up. Giving up is rooted in despair, while letting go is an act of empowerment. It's a conscious choice to release the emotional weight that keeps you anchored to the past. When you let go, you create space for healing, growth, and new possibilities. You're not abandoning your emotions. You're choosing not to let them control you. Compassion is a vital part of detachment. It allows you to let go without resentment or anger. When you practice compassion, you see others through a lens of understanding rather than judgment. You recognize that their actions are often a reflection of their own pain, insecurities, or limitations. This doesn't excuse their behavior, but it helps you release the bitterness that can otherwise take root in your heart. Detachment also means embracing impermanence. Everything in life is fleeting: relationships, emotions, even our own existence. Clinging to something that is meant to change only creates suffering. By accepting impermanence, you learn to appreciate the present moment without trying to hold on to it. You become free to love, to connect, to experience life fully, knowing that nothing is permanent, and that's okay. Practicing detachment involves creating boundaries, not just with others, but with your own mind. Thoughts can be relentless, replaying past hurts or fears of the future. Detachment teaches you to observe these thoughts without attaching to them. You learn to acknowledge their presence without giving them power. This mental boundary protects your peace, allowing you to respond to life with clarity and intention. Letting go without bitterness also requires forgiveness, not for the sake of others, but for your own liberation. Holding on to anger or resentment ties you to the very pain you wish to escape. Forgiveness doesn't mean you forget or excuse. It means you release the hold that pain has on you. It's an act of self-care, a way of saying, I deserve to move forward without carrying this burden. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. In fact, it allows you to care more deeply because you're no longer weighed down by fear or control. You can show up fully in your relationships, offering love and kindness without expecting anything in return. This kind of love, free from attachment, is one of the most profound expressions of humanity. Detachment also teaches you patience. Letting go is not a one-time act. It's a process that unfolds over time. It requires you to be gentle with yourself, to honor your feelings while working toward release. There will be moments when the pain resurfaces, and that's okay. Each step, no matter how small, is progress. The practice of detachment often involves rituals or actions that help solidify your intention to let go. Writing a letter to release your emotions, engaging in mindfulness meditation, or creating a symbolic act like lighting a candle can all be powerful tools. These rituals serve as reminders of your commitment to peace and healing. Detachment also encourages gratitude. When you let go of bitterness, you make room to appreciate what remains. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you've lost to what you've gained. It allows you to see the lessons in each experience, even the painful ones. Gratitude doesn't erase the hurt, but it gives you the strength to move through it with grace. In practicing detachment, you also learn to trust yourself. Letting go can feel like stepping into the unknown, but trust reminds you that you are capable of navigating whatever comes next. This trust is built through self-reflection, self-compassion, and the quiet confidence that grows when you prioritize your own peace. Detachment invites you to live in the present. When you let go of what was and stop worrying about what will be, you create space to fully experience the here and now. The present moment is where life happens, where joy resides, where healing takes root. By focusing on the present, you free yourself from the weight of the past and the uncertainty of the future. One of the greatest gifts of detachment is the freedom it brings. You are no longer tied to the outcomes of situations or the actions of others. This freedom allows you to live authentically, guided by your own values and truth. It's a liberation that comes not from controlling life, but from flowing with it. In practicing detachment without bitterness, you cultivate a deep sense of peace. This peace is not dependent on circumstances. It comes from within. It is a peace that allows you to face life's challenges with resilience, to love without fear, and to let go without regret. It is the peace that arises when you trust in your own strength and the natural rhythm of life. Letting go is not the end. It is the beginning of a new chapter, one where you carry less weight and walk with greater clarity. It is a path that leads to freedom, to healing, and to a deeper connection with yourself and the world around you. In this way, detachment is not just an act. It is a way of being, one that allows you to embrace life with an open heart and an unburdened spirit. Letting go without bitterness frees your heart. But what happens when the environment you're left in feels barren, devoid of the appreciation or support you long for? It's one thing to release the weight of attachment and hurt, but quite another to find growth and meaning in spaces that seem empty or unyielding. Yet, just as a lotus blooms in the muddiest waters, there is a profound lesson in finding your strength and beauty in places that don't readily nourish you. Life is full of moments where the external world feels unkind, indifferent, or unappreciative. These moments test your resilience, not to see if you will break, but to teach you the depth of your inner strength. Growth doesn't always come from ideal circumstances. In fact, some of the most profound transformations occur when you're challenged to thrive in difficult environments. The barren land, in its seeming emptiness, becomes the stage for your greatest growth. The key to finding growth in unappreciative spaces begins with the understanding that external validation is not a prerequisite for personal development. You do not need anyone's approval to become the best version of yourself. True growth comes from within, from the quiet determination to keep moving forward, even when the world fails to applaud your efforts. This kind of growth is not loud or dramatic. It is steady, deliberate, and deeply rooted in self-respect. One of the most powerful lessons of the lotus is its ability to draw strength from adversity. Mud, which many would view as a hindrance, becomes its foundation. Similarly, challenging environments can serve as catalysts for your own growth if you shift your perspective. Instead of viewing unappreciative spaces as obstacles, see them as opportunities to build resilience, patience, and self-reliance. They force you to rely on your inner resources, which are often stronger than you realize. In such spaces, you learn the value of perseverance. Growth in barren land doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistent effort, even when the results are not immediately visible. This perseverance is not just about pushing through difficulties, but about cultivating a sense of hope and trust in your own journey. It's the belief that your efforts, though unseen by others, are never wasted. Every step forward, no matter how small, contributes to your growth. Another important aspect of thriving in unappreciative spaces is learning to create your own nourishment. Just as the lotus finds what it needs to bloom despite its environment, you too can cultivate sources of strength and inspiration from within. This might mean developing habits that support your well-being, seeking knowledge that empowers you, or engaging in practices that connect you to your deeper self. You become your own source of light, rather than waiting for others to provide it. Unappreciative spaces also teach you the art of self-validation. When external recognition is scarce, you are given the opportunity to recognize and celebrate your own worth. This doesn't mean ignoring feedback or isolating yourself from others. It means learning to value your contributions regardless of how they are received. It's about standing tall in your truth, knowing that your worth is not diminished by someone else's inability to see it. Such environments also challenge you to focus on what you can control. While you cannot force others to appreciate you, you can choose how you respond to their indifference. You can choose to rise above pettiness, to act with integrity, and to keep growing despite the lack of acknowledgement. This focus on your own actions, rather than others' reactions, empowers you to reclaim your agency and continue moving forward with purpose. In unappreciative spaces, you also learn the importance of finding joy and meaning in small, overlooked moments. When grand gestures of appreciation are absent, you begin to notice the beauty in subtler things. A kind word, a quiet moment of achievement, or the satisfaction of knowing you did your best. These small joys become your fuel, reminding you that growth is not always about dramatic changes, but about steady, incremental progress. Patience becomes your ally in such spaces. Growth in barren land is a slow process, one that requires you to trust in the timing of your journey. It's easy to feel disheartened when your efforts seem to go unnoticed, but patience teaches you to stay committed, knowing that the fruits of your labor will eventually emerge. This patience is not passive. It is an active choice to keep nurturing yourself and your goals, even when the results are not immediate. The lotus also teaches you the power of adaptation. In challenging environments, flexibility becomes a vital skill. Instead of rigidly clinging to expectations, you learn to adjust your approach, finding creative solutions to the obstacles you face. This adaptability not only helps you navigate difficult situations, but also strengthens your ability to thrive in any environment. Another lesson of the lotus is its quiet dignity. It blooms without demanding attention, content in its own beauty and purpose. Similarly, thriving in unappreciative spaces often means continuing to give your best without seeking applause. It's about finding satisfaction in the act of growing rather than in the recognition of that growth. This quiet dignity becomes a source of strength, allowing you to remain grounded and focused on your journey. Challenging environments also push you to develop a deeper sense of gratitude. While it may seem counterintuitive, gratitude in barren land teaches you to appreciate the small things that sustain you. It might be the support of a single friend, the opportunity to learn from a difficult experience, or the simple fact that you have the strength to keep going. Gratitude shifts your perspective, helping you see abundance even in scarcity. Finding growth in unappreciative spaces also involves creating a vision for yourself. When external encouragement is lacking, your inner vision becomes your guide. This vision keeps you focused on your goals, reminding you of the bigger picture even when the present feels discouraging. It is this vision that motivates you to keep moving forward, knowing that your efforts are building something meaningful. In such spaces, you also learn the value of community. While some people may fail to appreciate you, others will recognize and celebrate your growth. Seek out these connections, whether they come from friends, mentors, or like-minded individuals who share your values. Surrounding yourself with supportive people creates a counterbalance to the indifference you may face elsewhere. Thriving in unappreciative spaces teaches you to let go of outcomes. Growth is not always about achieving a specific goal or receiving external recognition. Sometimes, the greatest growth comes simply from the process of persevering, learning, and becoming stronger in the face of challenges. When you release your attachment to specific outcomes, you free yourself to grow in ways you may not have anticipated. In the end, finding growth in unappreciative spaces is about becoming like the lotus, rooted in resilience, nourished by adversity, and blooming with quiet strength. It is a journey of self-discovery, one that reveals your capacity to thrive no matter the circumstances. In this way, the barren land becomes not a limitation, but a testament to your ability to rise above, to grow, and to shine. When growth takes root in unappreciative spaces, a new challenge often emerges: rejection. It can strike suddenly or creep in gradually, but the pain of being dismissed, overlooked, or misunderstood feels universal. Yet rejection, as harsh as it may seem, holds within it a powerful opportunity. What if, instead of being a wall that stops you, it becomes a door that opens to something greater? Zen philosophy teaches us that rejection is not an end, but a redirection, a shift in path that can guide you closer to your true purpose. Rejection often feels personal, but Zen wisdom reminds us that it rarely is. People's actions are shaped by their own perceptions, biases, and struggles, most of which have nothing to do with you. Recognizing this truth is the first step in transforming rejection into redirection. It allows you to separate your sense of self-worth from the opinions of others, creating space to see rejection for what it truly is, an opportunity to pause, reassess, and choose a new direction. One of the most profound lessons of Zen is to flow with life rather than resist it. When rejection arises, it's natural to feel resistance, a desire to fight against what's happening or to cling to what was lost. But resistance only deepens the pain. By accepting rejection as a part of life, you allow yourself to move with its energy rather than against it. This flow doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting that every experience, even rejection, has something to teach you. Rejection also provides clarity. It reveals paths that may not be meant for you and redirects your focus to where your energy is better spent. When a door closes, it forces you to look for other openings, ones you may not have noticed before. This shift in perspective can lead to unexpected opportunities, new relationships, and personal growth that you might have missed if you remained fixated on the path that rejected you. Another lesson from Zen is to embrace impermanence. Rejection often stings because it disrupts the illusion of permanence. Whether it's the end of a relationship, the loss of a job, or the denial of an opportunity, rejection reminds us that nothing in life is guaranteed. But this impermanence is not a curse. It's a truth that frees you to let go of what no longer serves you and to embrace the new possibilities that lie ahead. Rejection also encourages self-reflection. When something doesn't go as planned, it's an invitation to look inward and ask, what can I learn from this? This is not about blaming yourself or finding fault. It's about gaining insight into your desires, actions, and values. Self-reflection transforms rejection from a source of pain into a tool for self-awareness, helping you grow stronger and wiser with each experience. The practice of mindfulness is essential in turning rejection into redirection. By staying present, you resist the urge to dwell on the past or worry about the future. Mindfulness allows you to feel the emotions of rejection without becoming consumed by them. It helps you observe your thoughts and feelings with compassion, creating the mental clarity needed to move forward with intention. Rejection also teaches resilience. Each time you face rejection and choose to keep going, you build your inner strength. Resilience is not about suppressing your emotions or pretending you're unaffected. It's about allowing yourself to feel, process, and then rise again. With each instance of rejection, you prove to yourself that you are capable of overcoming setbacks and finding new paths. One of the most empowering aspects of rejection is its ability to help you refine your goals. When a path closes, it forces you to ask, is this truly what I want? Sometimes, rejection is life's way of redirecting you towards something more aligned with your purpose. It's an opportunity to reassess your priorities and make choices that better reflect your values and aspirations. Compassion is a key component of navigating rejection. It's easy to harbor resentment toward those who reject you, but this only creates more suffering. Compassion allows you to release bitterness and see the situation with a broader perspective. It helps you recognize that rejection is often a reflection of the other person's limitations or circumstances, rather than a measure of your worth. Rejection also challenges you to cultivate self-reliance. When external validation is withheld, you are reminded of the importance of finding strength within yourself. This self-reliance is not about isolating yourself or rejecting others. It's about building a foundation of confidence and self-worth that doesn't waver based on external circumstances. It's about trusting your own path, even when others don't see its value. In Zen philosophy, the concept of beginner's mind offers a valuable perspective on rejection. Beginner's mind is the idea of approaching life with openness, curiosity, and a willingness to see things anew. When rejection occurs, it's an opportunity to adopt a beginner's mind, to let go of preconceived notions and explore new possibilities with fresh eyes. This openness transforms rejection from a setback into an adventure. Another lesson from Zen is the importance of detachment from outcomes. Rejection hurts when you're deeply attached to a specific result, whether it's a job, a relationship, or a goal. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop tying your happiness and self-worth to a particular outcome. By releasing attachment, You free yourself to embrace whatever path unfolds, trusting that it will lead to growth and discovery. Rejection also strengthens your ability to adapt. Life rarely goes exactly as planned, and rejection is a reminder of the importance of flexibility. Adaptability allows you to pivot when necessary, finding new ways to pursue your goals and passions. It helps you see rejection not as a dead end, but as a redirection towards something even better. Gratitude plays a powerful role in transforming rejection. While it may seem counterintuitive, finding gratitude in the midst of rejection can shift your perspective. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring the pain of rejection. It means acknowledging the lessons it offers. By focusing on what you've gained, whether it's a new perspective, a clearer sense of direction, or the strength to keep going, you transform rejection into a stepping stone for growth. Rejection also deepens your understanding of imperfection. In a world that often equates success with perfection, rejection reminds you that setbacks are a natural part of life. They don't define you, they shape you. Each rejection becomes a brush stroke in the larger picture of your journey, adding depth, texture, and meaning to your story. One of the most profound gifts of rejection is the clarity it brings about the people and opportunities in your life. It helps you recognize what aligns with your values and what does not. It teaches you to invest your energy in relationships and pursuits that truly matter, rather than chasing after those that don't. Rejection also fosters humility. It reminds you that you don't have all the answers and that life is full of uncertainties. This humility opens you to learning, growth, and new perspectives. It helps you approach life with curiosity and a willingness to embrace the unknown. Rejection offers an opportunity to cultivate hope. Hope is not the denial of challenges, but the belief in the possibility of better things to come. Rejection may close one door, but hope reminds you that others are waiting to be opened. It's this hope that keeps you moving forward, trusting that each rejection is a step closer to where you're meant to be. Turning rejection into redirection is not about ignoring the pain or pretending it doesn't matter. It's about embracing the lessons it offers and using them to guide you toward a path of greater alignment, purpose, and fulfillment. It's about trusting that every no carries within it the possibility of a deeper, more meaningful yes. Rejection may redirect your path, but where it leads often depends on how you reclaim your balance. The energy you lose in chasing validation, dwelling on closed doors, or bending to meet others' expectations needs to be reclaimed for something far greater: your own peace. Creating inner balance isn't just about quieting the chaos around you. It's about nurturing a sense of self-respect so strong that your energy flows back to you, grounding you in stability no matter what unfolds. Balance begins with recognizing where your energy is going. When you constantly pour your focus into things you can't control, other people's opinions, outcomes you can't guarantee, or relationships that drain you, you leave little for your own well-being. Self-respect demands that you stop overextending yourself and start prioritizing where your energy is most needed, your inner world. It's a reminder that you are worthy of the care and focus you so freely give to others. Reclaiming energy also means breaking free from the habits of self-doubt. Doubt is a silent thief that chips away at your confidence, leaving you questioning your every decision. It feeds on comparison, criticism, and fear of failure. To reclaim your balance, you must recognize that doubt does not define you. Self-respect requires that you trust your instincts, your judgment, and your ability to learn. Trusting yourself restores the energy that doubt drains. leaving you empowered to move forward with clarity. Setting boundaries is another essential step in reclaiming your energy. Without boundaries, your time and emotional reserves become vulnerable to overuse. Self-respect involves saying no when necessary, not out of selfishness, but out of an understanding that your energy is finite and precious. Healthy boundaries create a structure that supports your inner balance, allowing you to give without depleting yourself in the process. Mindfulness is a key practice in maintaining inner balance. By staying present, you stop dwelling on past mistakes or worrying about future uncertainties. This focus on the now allows you to channel your energy into what truly matters. Mindfulness also helps you recognize when your thoughts or emotions are leading you away from balance. It provides the tools to gently redirect yourself back to a state of calm and intention. Reclaiming energy requires letting go of perfectionism. The pursuit of perfection is a never-ending cycle that leaves you feeling inadequate, no matter how much you achieve. Self-respect means accepting yourself as you are, flaws and all. It's about recognizing that your worth isn't tied to perfection, but to the authenticity you bring to everything you do. When you release the need to be perfect, you free up energy to focus on growth, creativity, and joy. Another element of inner balance is learning to embrace stillness. In a world that glorifies constant action, stillness can feel like a luxury you can't afford. But stillness is where clarity and restoration live. It's in the quiet moments that you reconnect with yourself, assess your priorities, and recharge your spirit. Stillness is not inactivity. It's intentional rest that allows you to face life with renewed energy and purpose. Practicing gratitude is another way to restore balance. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, you shift your perspective from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude redirects your energy from longing for external validation to appreciating the richness of your inner life. It reminds you that contentment comes not from what you achieve, but from how you perceive your journey. Inner balance also involves cultivating self-discipline. Discipline is not about rigidity or self-denial. It's about aligning your actions with your values. When you act in ways that honor your self-respect, you create a sense of harmony within yourself. Discipline helps you prioritize what matters most, protecting your energy from being wasted on distractions or unfulfilling pursuits. Compassion, especially toward yourself, plays a critical role in reclaiming your energy. It's easy to be hard on yourself when things don't go as planned, but self-compassion reminds you that mistakes are a natural part of growth. Treating yourself with kindness rather than criticism allows you to recover from setbacks more quickly, conserving the energy that guilt or shame would otherwise drain. Reclaiming your energy also means being intentional with your relationships. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift and inspire you strengthens your balance, while spending time with those who drain or undermine you does the opposite. Self-respect involves choosing relationships that align with your values and letting go of those that do not. This intentionality creates a supportive environment where your energy can thrive. Another practice that fosters inner balance is engaging in activities that nourish your spirit. Whether it's art, meditation, nature walks, or any other pursuit that brings you peace, these activities remind you of the joy in simply being. They replenish your energy, grounding you in the present moment and reinforcing your connection to yourself. Developing a sense of purpose also contributes to reclaiming your energy. When your actions align with a meaningful goal or vision, you feel a sense of direction that keeps you centered. Purpose gives you a reason to move forward, even when challenges arise. It focuses your energy on what truly matters, reducing the pull of distractions or external pressures. Letting go of resentment is another powerful way to restore balance. Holding on to anger or grudges only keeps you tied to the very things you want to move past. Self-respect involves forgiving, not because others deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Forgiveness is not about forgetting or excusing. It's about releasing the hold that negativity has on your energy, freeing you to focus on growth and healing. Balancing your inner world also requires aligning your actions with your values. When your choices reflect what truly matters to you, you create a sense of harmony within yourself. This alignment prevents the internal conflict that arises when your actions are at odds with your beliefs. It strengthens your self-respect and ensures that your energy is directed toward what feels authentic and meaningful. Another aspect of reclaiming energy is simplifying your life. Complexity often leads to overwhelm, draining your mental and emotional reserves. Simplifying doesn't mean doing less. It means focusing on what adds value to your life and letting go of what doesn't. This clarity allows you to channel your energy into what truly matters, creating a sense of balance that is both calming and empowering. Practicing acceptance is also vital in maintaining inner balance. Life doesn't always go as planned, and resisting what is only creates more tension. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means acknowledging reality and choosing how to respond. This practice frees up the energy that resistance would otherwise consume, allowing you to move forward with grace and intention. Reclaiming your energy also involves celebrating small victories. Too often, we focus solely on big achievements, overlooking the progress we make along the way. Self-respect means recognizing and honoring every step you take, no matter how small. These celebrations remind you of your strength and keep you motivated to continue your journey. Fostering a sense of curiosity is another way to create inner balance. Approaching life with curiosity transforms challenges into opportunities for growth. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what can be discovered, keeping your energy rooted in possibility rather than frustration. Curiosity keeps your mind open and engaged, allowing you to navigate life's uncertainties with resilience. Creating inner balance requires a commitment to your own well-being. This commitment is not a one-time decision, but an ongoing practice of prioritizing yourself in a world that often demands otherwise. It's about showing up for yourself every day, honoring your needs, and protecting your peace. This unwavering dedication to self-respect becomes the foundation for a life of balance, fulfillment, and enduring energy. Reclaiming your energy through self-respect is a profound act of self-love, but even the balance you build must navigate the reality of life's ever-changing nature. At the heart of all things lies impermanence, anicca, as it is called in Buddhist philosophy. Nothing stays the same forever, not your relationships, your emotions, nor the circumstances of your life. While this truth may feel unsettling, it is also a source of immense freedom. When you embrace impermanence, you stop clinging to what is fleeting and begin to find peace in the constant flow of change. Impermanence often feels like loss, especially in relationships. People grow, change, and sometimes drift apart, leaving behind memories of what once was. But clinging to the past, wishing things could remain the same, only amplifies suffering. Anicca reminds you that change is not an ending, but a transformation. The love or connection you once shared with someone doesn't vanish. It evolves into lessons, growth, and a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. One of the first steps in embracing impermanence is learning to be present with what is. Often, we either hold tightly to the past or anxiously anticipate the future, missing the beauty of the current moment. Anika teaches that the present is all you truly have. By focusing on now, you honor the fleeting nature of life without trying to freeze it in place. This presence allows you to experience relationships more fully, appreciating them for what they are, even as they change. Impermanence also encourages gratitude. When you recognize that nothing lasts forever, you begin to value what you have while you have it. Instead of taking people or moments for granted, you approach them with a sense of reverence, knowing they are temporary gifts. This gratitude deepens your connections and helps you release regret when things inevitably shift. Anika also offers clarity in relationships. When you understand that change is natural, you stop fearing it. Relationships that no longer serve your growth or align with your values can be let go without resentment. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you honor the role the relationship played in your life and trust that its conclusion is part of a larger flow. Letting go becomes an act of love, both for yourself and for the other person. Embracing impermanence also helps you navigate loss. Whether it's the end of a friendship, a breakup, or the passing of a loved one, loss is one of life's greatest challenges. Anika doesn't erase the pain of loss, but provides a framework for understanding it. It reminds you that while the physical presence of something or someone may fade, the impact they had on your life remains. Memories, lessons, and the love shared are eternal in their own way. Impermanence also transforms how you view conflict in relationships. When you recognize that everything changes, you see disagreements as temporary rather than permanent rifts. This perspective encourages forgiveness and patience, allowing you to approach conflicts with a sense of calm rather than urgency. You begin to prioritize connection over winning, knowing that relationships are fluid and ever-evolving. Another aspect of embracing impermanence is accepting your own growth. As you change and evolve, you may outgrow certain dynamics or roles within relationships. This can feel unsettling, but Anika teaches you to honor your growth rather than resist it. By allowing yourself to move forward, you make space for relationships and experiences that align with who you are becoming. Anika also challenges the illusion of control. Much of our suffering comes from trying to hold on to things or people as they are, resisting the inevitable flow of change. Impermanence reminds you that control is an illusion. The only thing you can truly influence is how you respond to life's shifts. By releasing control, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and find peace in surrendering to the natural rhythm of life. Embracing impermanence also deepens your sense of compassion. When you understand that everyone is navigating their own changes, you approach others with more kindness and patience. You recognize that their actions are often a reflection of their own struggles with impermanence, not a judgment of your worth. This compassion creates space for deeper connections, even in the face of change. Impermanence also teaches you the importance of adaptability. Life's changes often require you to pivot, to let go of old plans or expectations and embrace new possibilities. This adaptability strengthens your resilience, helping you navigate transitions with grace. It reminds you that change, though challenging, often leads to growth and new opportunities. Anika also helps you redefine success. Instead of measuring success by permanence, whether it's a lifelong relationship, a stable career, or lasting recognition, you begin to see success in how you navigate change. Success becomes about your ability to grow, learn, and find meaning in the transient nature of life. This shift in perspective allows you to appreciate the journey rather than fixating on a specific destination. Another lesson of impermanence is the value of detachment. Detachment doesn't mean indifference. It means engaging fully with life while understanding that nothing is truly yours to keep. This detachment allows you to love and connect deeply without clinging, knowing that true freedom lies in appreciating rather than possessing. Detachment brings a sense of lightness, freeing you from the weight of trying to hold on to what is always shifting. Impermanence also invites you to reflect on your priorities. When you recognize that time is fleeting, you become more intentional about how you spend it. You focus on what truly matters, whether it's nurturing meaningful relationships, pursuing passions, or simply being present with yourself. This intentionality creates a life rich in purpose and connection, even as circumstances change. Anicca also reshapes how you view failure. Failure often feels like a permanent mark, but impermanence reminds you that setbacks are temporary. They are not the end of your story, but a chapter in a much larger narrative. This perspective allows you to move forward with hope, knowing that every failure carries the potential for growth and new beginnings. Impermanence encourages you to find joy in the fleeting. Instead of mourning what you can't hold on to, you celebrate the beauty of the moment. You learn to see change not as a loss, but as a reminder of life's vibrancy and unpredictability. This joy becomes a source of strength, helping you navigate life's transitions with an open heart and a steady mind. By embracing Anicca, you transform your relationship with change. You learn to see it not as a threat, but as an opportunity to grow, connect, and find meaning in the ever-shifting currents of life. In this acceptance, you discover a profound sense of peace, one that carries you through every moment, no matter how transient. As you embrace impermanence and begin to find peace in life's transitions, a deeper truth emerges. How you view and value yourself doesn't just shape your inner world, it radiates outward, influencing those around you. When you treat yourself with respect, care, and kindness, it creates ripples that touch every relationship, interaction, and space you enter. Self-worth isn't just personal, it's a powerful force that inspires others to reflect, grow, and rise alongside you. Valuing yourself begins with recognizing that your worth is not conditional. It doesn't depend on achievements, the approval of others, or external circumstances. This unwavering sense of worth becomes a beacon for those around you. People notice when you walk with quiet confidence, when your actions reflect a deep respect for yourself. This isn't arrogance, it's authenticity. By being true to yourself, you encourage others to do the same. When you value yourself, you set a standard for how others should treat you. Boundaries become a natural extension of your self-worth, and they serve as a model for others. They show that respecting yourself doesn't mean you're closed off. It means you're clear about what you will and won't accept. This clarity inspires those around you to examine their own boundaries and how they allow themselves to be treated. Self-worth also changes how you communicate. When you value yourself, you speak with conviction, not out of a need to prove something, but because you trust your voice. This authenticity makes your words more impactful. People are drawn to those who communicate with clarity and integrity because it creates an atmosphere of trust. Your self-worth, expressed through your voice, inspires others to find the courage to speak their truth. One of the most profound ripple effects of self-worth is the energy you bring into a room. When you respect yourself, you radiate calm and confidence. People feel it in your presence, even without words. This energy sets the tone for interactions, making others feel safe and respected. Your inner balance becomes a stabilizing force, inspiring those around you to cultivate their own sense of peace. Self-worth also shifts how you approach challenges. When you believe in your value, you face obstacles with resilience. Instead of seeing failure as a reflection of your worth, you view it as a learning opportunity. This perspective not only helps you grow, but also inspires others to see challenges in a new light. Your ability to persevere becomes an example of strength and possibility. Another way self-worth inspires others is through your actions. When you prioritize your well-being, pursue your passions, and align your life with your values, it demonstrates what is possible. People see you thriving not because life is easy, but because you have chosen to honor yourself. This inspires others to take similar steps, showing them that they too can create a life that reflects their worth. Self-worth also fosters generosity. When you value yourself, you no longer feel the need to compete or compare. Instead, you are more willing to uplift others, to celebrate their successes without diminishing your own. This generosity creates a ripple of positivity, encouraging those around you to support and uplift each other as well. Valuing yourself also changes how you navigate relationships. You approach connections with authenticity, not seeking validation, but offering genuine care. This authenticity inspires deeper, more meaningful relationships. When people see you respecting yourself, they are encouraged to bring their full, authentic selves into interactions. Your self-worth becomes a mirror, reflecting the value in others and fostering connections built on mutual respect. One of the most subtle but impactful effects of self-worth is how it challenges others to grow. When you hold yourself to a standard of self-respect, it naturally raises the bar for those around you. It encourages them to reflect on how they treat themselves and others. This isn't about judgment, it's about leading by example. Your actions speak louder than words, inspiring growth in ways you may not even realize. Self-worth also creates a ripple of empowerment. When people see you advocating for yourself, standing firm in your values, and pursuing your goals, it shows them what's possible. It plants a seed of belief in their own potential. By valuing yourself, you give others permission to do the same, breaking cycles of self-doubt and limitation. Another powerful ripple effect of self-worth is its ability to transform group dynamics. In a workplace, family, or community setting, your confidence and respect for yourself set a tone that influences the entire environment. It creates a culture of mutual respect and collaboration, where people feel encouraged to contribute authentically. Your self-worth becomes a foundation for collective growth and harmony. Self-worth also nurtures compassion. When you value yourself, you recognize your own struggles, imperfections, and humanity. This recognition deepens your empathy for others. People feel this compassion in your presence, inspiring them to approach themselves and others with the same kindness. Your self-worth fosters a ripple of understanding and connection that strengthens relationships. Your sense of worth also impacts how you handle criticism. When you value yourself, you can receive feedback without internalizing it as a reflection of your value. This balance inspires others to view criticism with perspective, seeing it as an opportunity for growth rather than a personal attack. Your ability to remain grounded in your worth during challenging conversations sets an example of emotional resilience. Valuing yourself also shapes how you celebrate others. When your sense of worth is secure, you can genuinely celebrate the achievements and strengths of those around you without feeling diminished. This encouragement uplifts others, showing them that their value is recognized and appreciated. Your self-worth creates a ripple of positive reinforcement, building confidence in those you interact with. Another profound effect of self-worth is its ability to create hope. When people see you overcoming challenges, staying true to yourself, and thriving despite difficulties, it reminds them that change and growth are possible. Your journey becomes a source of inspiration, showing others that self-worth is not about being perfect, but about persevering and honoring yourself along the way. Self-worth also has a transformative effect on how you handle conflict. When you respect yourself, you approach disagreements with a sense of calm and clarity. You don't feel the need to prove your worth or dominate the situation. This approach creates space for constructive dialogue, inspiring others to handle conflicts with respect and maturity. Your self-worth becomes a stabilizing force in resolving tensions. Self-worth has the power to inspire future generations. Whether it's through your children, mentees, or simply those who observe your life, your self-respect becomes a legacy. It shows others that valuing themselves is not only possible, but essential. It plants the seeds of confidence and resilience in those who look up to you, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond what you can see. The ripple effect of self-worth is profound because it touches every aspect of your life and the lives of those around you. By valuing yourself, you create a wave of inspiration, growth, and connection that uplifts and empowers others. This is the true power of self-worth. It's not just about what it does for you, but about the light it spreads to the world. When self-worth radiates outward, inspiring others, it often invites challenges. Not everyone will celebrate your growth or reflect your respect back to you. This is where a deeper strength becomes necessary, a strength found not in loud defenses or fiery reactions, but in the quiet power of silence. Silence, often misunderstood as weakness or passivity, holds immense strength when wielded with intention. It is the art of non-reaction, a choice that preserves your energy, protects your peace, and speaks louder than any words ever could. Non-reaction is not about indifference or avoidance. It is a deliberate act of self-control and wisdom. When faced with provocation, the natural instinct is often to defend, retaliate, or explain. But reacting impulsively can pull you into unnecessary conflict, draining your energy and clouding your judgment. Silence becomes a shield, a space where you choose to respond with thoughtfulness rather than being drawn into chaos. The power of silence begins with restraint. Choosing not to react immediately allows you to step back and observe the situation more clearly. This pause creates room for perspective, helping you distinguish between what requires your attention and what does not. Silence becomes a tool for discernment, allowing you to focus on what truly matters while letting go of what doesn't deserve your energy. Silence also disarms conflict. When someone expects an argument or reaction and is met with calm, it shifts the dynamic. The absence of retaliation forces the other person to confront their own behavior. In this way, silence is not passive. It is a mirror, reflecting their actions back to them without adding fuel to the fire. This non-reaction often diffuses tension, creating a space where resolution becomes possible. Practicing silence requires a deep sense of self-control. It is easy to react when emotions run high, but silence asks you to sit with your feelings instead of acting on them. This self-control strengthens your emotional resilience, teaching you to navigate difficult situations without being overwhelmed by them. In the quiet of non-reaction, you learn to master your emotions rather than letting them control you. Silence also protects your dignity. When provoked, reacting impulsively can lead to saying or doing things you might later regret. Choosing silence allows you to maintain your integrity, ensuring that your actions align with your values. This quiet strength communicates self-respect and confidence, showing that you don't need to engage in negativity to assert your worth. Non-reaction also fosters inner peace. When you resist the urge to react to every slight or provocation, you free yourself from the turmoil of unnecessary conflict. Silence becomes a sanctuary, a place where you can reflect and recharge without being pulled into the noise of external drama. This peace is not just for the moment. It becomes a lasting foundation that supports your well-being. The art of non-reaction also involves listening. In silence, you create space to truly hear what others are saying, not just their words, but the emotions and intentions behind them. This deep listening fosters understanding and empathy, even in challenging situations. By choosing silence, you open the door to meaningful communication rather than reactive exchanges. Non-reaction also shifts the balance of power. When you refuse to engage in conflict, you reclaim your agency. The person provoking you no longer has control over your emotions or actions. This shift is not about dominance but about self-possession. Silence sends a clear message. You are in control of yourself, and nothing external can shake your inner stability. Practicing silence also allows for reflection. In the space of non-reaction, you can evaluate the situation, your feelings, and your desired outcome. This reflection ensures that when you do respond, your actions are intentional and aligned with your values. Silence is not about avoidance. It is about choosing your response wisely, ensuring that it serves a purpose rather than escalating the situation. Silence also teaches patience. In a world that often demands immediate reactions, choosing not to respond right away can feel uncomfortable. But patience allows you to see the bigger picture, to wait for clarity before acting. This patience is a form of strength, a refusal to be rushed or pressured into actions that don't serve you. Another aspect of non-reaction is letting go of the need to be understood. Often, reactions are driven by a desire to explain or defend ourselves. But silence communicates that your worth and truth do not depend on others' understanding or approval. This detachment frees you from the exhausting cycle of trying to prove yourself, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. Silence also creates space for others to reflect. When you choose not to react, it often prompts the other person to reconsider their actions or words. This reflection can lead to greater understanding and resolution, as it shifts the focus from the conflict to the underlying issues. Silence becomes a catalyst for growth, both for yourself and for those around you. Practicing non-reaction also cultivates humility. It requires you to let go of ego, the need to have the last word, to be right, or to win. Humility allows you to prioritize peace over pride, creating a space where connection and understanding can flourish. This humility is not about diminishing yourself. It is about recognizing that silence often speaks louder than words. Silence also fosters resilience. By choosing not to react, you strengthen your ability to navigate challenges with grace. This resilience is not about suppressing your emotions, but about channeling them in ways that serve your well-being. In the quiet of non-reaction, you discover a strength that is unshaken by external chaos. Non-reaction also deepens your self-awareness. In the absence of immediate responses, you have the opportunity to explore your triggers, emotions, and thought patterns. This awareness helps you understand yourself on a deeper level, allowing you to grow and evolve with each experience. Silence becomes a tool for self-discovery, revealing the depths of your inner strength. Silence creates a sense of mystery. When you choose not to react, it leaves others wondering about your thoughts and feelings. This mystery is not about manipulation. It is about preserving your energy and allowing others to reflect on their actions without interference. Silence, in this way, becomes a powerful form of communication, conveying strength, confidence, and self-respect. The art of non-reaction is a practice of profound inner strength. It is not about ignoring or avoiding challenges, but about choosing to respond with intention and wisdom. In silence, you find the space to reflect, the strength to stay grounded, and the clarity to act in alignment with your values. It is a path that leads not only to personal peace, but also to deeper, more meaningful connections with the world around you. Silence, as a shield and a statement, teaches you to hold your ground without being pulled into unnecessary battles. But what happens when the silence you choose to cultivate is disrupted by rejection? A sting that seems to demand your attention, your reaction, your emotions. Here, mindfulness becomes your anchor. In the face of rejection, practicing mindfulness allows you to observe what unfolds within you and around you without letting it define or consume you. This approach, rooted in presence and non-judgment, transforms rejection from a source of pain into a profound opportunity for growth and self-discovery. Rejection often triggers a flood of emotions: sadness, frustration, self-doubt, even anger. These feelings, while valid, can distort your perception of reality if left unchecked. Mindfulness invites you to sit with these emotions, acknowledging their presence without labeling them as good or bad. This practice of observation creates a space where you can understand your emotions without being controlled by them. It allows you to process your feelings fully, letting them move through you rather than settling as bitterness or despair. One of the key aspects of mindfulness during rejection is separating the event from your sense of self-worth. Rejection often feels personal, as though it reflects something lacking in you. But mindfulness reminds you that rejection is not a statement about your value. It is an experience, a moment in time shaped by factors often beyond your control. By observing rejection through this lens, you can begin to detach from the narrative that you are defined by others' decisions or opinions. Mindfulness also helps you recognize the impermanence of rejection. In the moment, rejection can feel overwhelming, as though it will define your life forever. But when you sit with this experience mindfully, you begin to see that all emotions, even the most intense, are temporary. They rise, peak, and eventually fade. This understanding doesn't erase the pain of rejection, but provides reassurance that it will not last forever. This impermanence gives you the strength to endure and move forward. When you practice mindfulness during rejection, you also cultivate curiosity. Instead of immediately reacting to the pain, you ask yourself questions. What can I learn from this experience? What does this moment reveal about myself, my desires, or my path? This shift from resistance to curiosity opens the door to growth. You begin to see rejection not as a wall, but as a mirror, reflecting truths that may have been hidden. Rejection often brings with it a tendency to overanalyze, to replay conversations, dissect decisions, and search for answers. Mindfulness helps you break this cycle of rumination by grounding you in the present moment. Instead of getting lost in the why, you focus on the what now. This focus allows you to channel your energy into actions that align with your values and goals, rather than being consumed by what you cannot change. Practicing mindfulness during rejection also helps you identify patterns. Over time, you may notice recurring themes in how you respond to rejection or the types of situations that trigger it. This awareness empowers you to address underlying beliefs or behaviors that may contribute to your experience. By observing these patterns without judgment, you create the space to make conscious changes that support your growth and resilience. One of the most challenging aspects of rejection is the sense of isolation it can create. Mindfulness counters this by reminding you of your connection to others. Everyone experiences rejection at some point. It is a shared part of the human experience. This awareness fosters compassion, both for yourself and for others who have faced similar struggles. It helps you feel less alone, even in moments of pain. Another benefit of mindfulness is its ability to shift your perspective. When you practice observing rejection without judgment, you begin to see it as part of a larger story. Perhaps this rejection is redirecting you towards something better, or perhaps it is teaching you a lesson you needed to learn. Mindfulness doesn't provide all the answers, but it opens your mind to the possibility that rejection is not an end, but a step on your journey. Mindfulness also encourages gratitude, even in the face of rejection. This doesn't mean forcing yourself to be thankful for the pain, but rather recognizing the aspects of your life that remain whole and meaningful. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you've lost to what you still have, providing a sense of stability and hope. It reminds you that rejection, while significant, does not define the entirety of your experience. Practicing mindfulness during rejection also involves releasing expectations. Often, the pain of rejection stems from unmet expectations of how things should have gone, how others should have responded, or how life should unfold. Mindfulness invites you to let go of these shoulds, embracing what is instead. This release frees you from the burden of trying to control the uncontrollable, allowing you to find peace in the present moment. Another important aspect of mindfulness is its ability to foster forgiveness. Rejection can leave wounds that are difficult to heal, but holding on to resentment or anger only prolongs your suffering. Mindfulness helps you approach forgiveness not as a favor to others, but as a gift to yourself. By releasing the hold that rejection has on your heart, you create space for healing and renewal. Mindfulness also strengthens your ability to focus on what you can control. Rejection often feels overwhelming because it highlights what is beyond your influence, others' choices, circumstances, or timing. Mindfulness shifts your attention to what is within your power, your response, your actions, and your attitude. This focus restores a sense of agency, empowering you to move forward with purpose. In the quiet of mindfulness, you also reconnect with your inner strength. Rejection may shake your confidence, but mindfulness reminds you that your worth and resilience are not diminished by external events. This inner strength becomes a source of stability, helping you navigate the waves of rejection without losing sight of your value. Practicing mindfulness during rejection also involves embracing self-compassion. It's easy to be harsh with yourself when things don't go as planned, but mindfulness teaches you to treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend. This self-compassion softens the edges of rejection, making it easier to move through the pain with grace. Another gift of mindfulness is its ability to help you find meaning in rejection. While the experience itself may be painful, it often carries lessons that contribute to your growth. Mindfulness helps you uncover these lessons, even if they take time to reveal themselves. This sense of meaning transforms rejection from a source of suffering into an opportunity for transformation. Mindfulness also helps you maintain balance during rejection. By staying grounded in the present, you resist the urge to let rejection overshadow other aspects of your life. You remember that while this experience is significant, it is not the entirety of your existence. This perspective allows you to navigate rejection with resilience and grace, preserving your sense of balance and well-being. Mindfulness fosters hope. Even in the midst of rejection, mindfulness reminds you that this moment is not the end. It is a part of your journey, one that will lead to new beginnings and opportunities. This hope is not about ignoring the pain of rejection, but about trusting in your ability to grow and thrive beyond it. By practicing mindfulness during rejection, you transform a challenging experience into a powerful tool for growth and self-discovery. You learn to observe without judgment, to feel without being consumed, and to move forward with clarity and intention. In this way, rejection becomes not a source of suffering, but a catalyst for transformation, guided by the quiet strength of mindfulness. Mindfulness during rejection teaches you to find peace in the storm, but a deeper layer of freedom waits for those who release the need for validation, the need for others to acknowledge your worth, affirm your choices, or approve. Your path can feel like an invisible tether, limiting your growth and weighing down your spirit. True detachment is not about isolation or indifference. It is about freeing yourself from dependence on external validation and stepping fully into the strength of your own self-assurance. Detachment begins with the understanding that your value is inherent. It does not rise or fall based on others' opinions, words, or actions. When you tie your sense of self-worth to validation from others, you give away your power. Detachment reclaims that power, reminding you that you are complete as you are, without needing constant reassurance from the outside world. The need for validation often stems from a deep desire to belong. This is a natural human instinct, but detachment teaches you to find belonging within yourself first. When you detach from the need for others to define your place, you create a foundation of self-reliance that cannot be shaken by rejection or criticism. This internal belonging allows you to connect with others more authentically, because you are no longer seeking to prove your worth through those connections. Releasing the need for validation also involves letting go of perfectionism. Often, the drive to seek approval comes from a fear of being seen as flawed. But detachment reminds you that flaws are a natural part of being human. By embracing imperfection, you free yourself from the exhausting pursuit of trying to meet others' expectations. This freedom allows you to focus on growth and authenticity rather than performance. Another layer of detachment is understanding that others' opinions are often reflections of their own experiences, biases, and insecurities. What someone thinks of you says more about them than it does about you. Detachment helps you separate your sense of self from the judgments of others, allowing you to stay grounded in your truth rather than being swayed by external perspectives. Detachment also brings clarity to your priorities. When you release the need for validation, you stop chasing approval and start pursuing what truly matters to you. This shift allows you to align your actions with your values, creating a life that feels meaningful and authentic. Instead of trying to please everyone, you focus on living in a way that honors your own truth. One of the most liberating aspects of detachment is the peace it brings. The constant search for validation can create anxiety, as you worry about how others perceive you or whether you've met their expectations. Detachment quiets this noise, freeing you to live without the weight of constant comparison or concern. This peace allows you to move through life with confidence and calm. Detachment also deepens your self-respect. When you no longer seek validation from others, you begin to recognize your own worth more fully. This self-respect becomes a source of strength, allowing you to stand firm in your beliefs and choices, even when they are not widely understood or accepted. It reminds you that your approval of yourself is the only validation that truly matters. Releasing the need for validation also transforms how you handle criticism. When you are detached, criticism no longer feels like an attack on your worth. Instead, you can evaluate it objectively, taking what is helpful and leaving the rest. This perspective allows you to grow without being weighed down by negativity or self-doubt. Detachment also fosters resilience. When you stop relying on external validation, you become less affected by the ups and downs of others' opinions. This resilience allows you to navigate challenges with grace, knowing that your worth remains constant regardless of external circumstances. It is a quiet strength that carries you through uncertainty with unwavering confidence. Another gift of detachment is the freedom to express yourself authentically. When you are no longer seeking approval, you feel free to speak your truth, pursue your passions, and embrace your individuality. This authenticity not only brings fulfillment, but also inspires others to do the same. Your detachment becomes a ripple of empowerment, encouraging others to find their own voice. Detachment also helps you cultivate inner stillness. The need for validation often creates a constant hum of activity as you strive to meet expectations or gain approval. Detachment quiets this noise, allowing you to reconnect with your inner self. This stillness becomes a sanctuary, a place where you can recharge and reflect without external pressures. Releasing the need for validation also strengthens your boundaries. When you are detached, you no longer feel obligated to say yes to every request or to meet every demand placed on you. Instead, you prioritize your own well-being and values, creating boundaries that protect your energy and peace. These boundaries are not walls. They are a way of honoring yourself while still engaging with others. Detachment also invites you to embrace uncertainty. The search for validation often stems from a desire for certainty, knowing that you are accepted, valued, or on the right path. But life is inherently uncertain, and detachment helps you find peace within that uncertainty. It teaches you to trust yourself even when external validation is absent, allowing you to move forward with confidence. Another aspect of detachment is recognizing the difference between connection and dependence. True connection is built on mutual respect and authenticity, while dependence relies on seeking validation to feel whole. Detachment frees you from dependence, allowing you to form healthier, more balanced relationships. In these connections, you give and receive freely, without the need to prove or seek approval. Detachment also brings focus to your inner voice. When you are no longer consumed by the opinions of others, you can hear your own thoughts, desires, and intuition more clearly. This focus allows you to make decisions that align with your true self rather than being swayed by external influences. It is a return to your own wisdom and inner guidance. Releasing the need for validation also cultivates gratitude. Instead of seeking approval, you begin to appreciate the people and experiences that genuinely enrich your life. This gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, creating a sense of abundance and contentment. It reminds you that your life is full and meaningful, even without constant validation. Detachment also teaches you the art of letting go. When you stop seeking validation, you release the need to hold on to relationships, achievements, or identities that no longer serve you. This letting go is not about loss. It is about making space for growth and new possibilities. It is a practice of trust, believing that what is meant for you will come and what is not will pass. Detachment brings a profound sense of freedom. When you are no longer tied to the need for validation, you can live on your terms. This freedom allows you to pursue your dreams, honor your values, and embrace your unique path without hesitation. It is a liberation that empowers you to be fully yourself, unburdened by the expectations or judgments of others. The freedom in detachment is not about rejecting the world. It is about reclaiming your place within it, guided by your own truth. It is a quiet strength, a source of peace, and a path to living authentically. By releasing the need for validation, you step into a life of greater clarity, confidence, and connection to yourself and the world around you. Releasing the need for validation frees you to live authentically, but the journey doesn't stop there. To maintain that freedom and honor your truth, you must navigate a delicate balance, setting boundaries while still leading with kindness. Boundaries can often feel like barriers, but when rooted in compassion, they become bridges, ways to protect your peace without shutting others out. They are an act of self-respect and care, not just for yourself, but for those around you. Boundaries begin with clarity. To set them, you first need to understand your own needs, limits, and values. This self-awareness is not selfish. It is essential. Without clarity, you risk overcommitting, overextending, and ultimately resenting the very people you wish to help. Compassionate boundaries are not about rejection, but about creating a framework that allows you to show up as your best self. When you respect your own limits, you can give more freely without feeling depleted or burdened. Setting boundaries often requires confronting guilt, especially if you're someone who naturally wants to help others. Compassion doesn't mean sacrificing your well-being to meet others' expectations. It means recognizing that you can only pour from a full cup. Guilt arises from the belief that saying no is unkind, but true kindness is being honest about what you can offer. Boundaries rooted in compassion communicate care, showing others that your limits are not walls, but a way to preserve your ability to contribute meaningfully. Communication is key to setting compassionate boundaries. How you express your limits matters as much as the boundaries themselves. When you speak with kindness and clarity, you reduce the likelihood of misunderstandings or hurt feelings. Phrasing your boundaries in a way that reflects mutual respect, such as, "I need time to recharge so I can be more present with you later," helps maintain the connection while honoring your needs. Compassionate communication turns boundaries into a dialogue rather than a demand. Boundaries are also about teaching others how to treat you. When you consistently uphold your limits, you send a message that your time, energy, and well-being are valuable. This not only protects you, but also inspires others to reflect on their own boundaries. Compassionate boundaries don't just serve you, they encourage healthier interactions and mutual respect in your relationships. Balancing kindness and self-respect also involves flexibility. Boundaries are not rigid rules. They are guidelines that adapt to different circumstances and relationships. Compassion means recognizing when exceptions are needed without compromising your core values. This flexibility allows you to navigate complex situations with grace, maintaining your boundaries while responding to others' needs with empathy. Boundaries also protect your emotional energy. Without them, you risk being drained by situations or people that demand more than you can give. Compassionate boundaries help you conserve your energy for what truly matters, ensuring that you can be fully present for the people and activities that align with your values. This protection is not about withholding, but about prioritizing, so you can engage with others from a place of fullness rather than exhaustion. Setting boundaries also requires you to let go of the fear of disappointing others. It's natural to want to please those you care about, but constantly saying yes out of fear of rejection or conflict only leads to resentment and burnout. Compassionate boundaries recognize that disappointing someone in the short term is better than neglecting yourself in the long term. This honesty, while difficult, builds trust and authenticity in your relationships. Another key to compassionate boundaries is practicing self-compassion. When you set a boundary, it's normal to feel doubt or worry about how it will be received. Self-compassion reminds you that it's okay to prioritize yourself, even if it feels uncomfortable. It encourages you to be patient with yourself as you navigate the challenges of setting and maintaining boundaries, reinforcing that your needs are valid. Boundaries also challenge you to confront the discomfort of conflict. While it's tempting to avoid difficult conversations, compassionate boundaries require directness. Avoidance only creates confusion and frustration, while clear communication fosters understanding. Compassion means approaching these conversations with empathy, listening to the other person's perspective while remaining firm in your limits. This balance of kindness and self-respect creates space for resolution and connection. Setting boundaries also involves releasing the need for control. You cannot dictate how others will react to your limits, but you can control how you communicate them and how you uphold them. Compassion means allowing others to have their feelings without taking responsibility for them. This detachment ensures that your boundaries remain rooted in self-respect rather than guilt or fear. Compassionate boundaries also help you navigate toxic relationships. In some cases, setting limits may reveal that certain connections are not healthy or sustainable. Compassion doesn't mean tolerating behavior that harms you. It means honoring yourself enough to walk away when necessary. This courage to let go while painful creates space for relationships that are supportive and aligned with your values. Boundaries also foster mutual respect. When you set limits, you model the importance of self-care and authenticity. This encourages others to reflect on their own boundaries and to respect yours. Compassionate boundaries are not about pushing people away, but about creating a foundation for healthier, more balanced relationships. Another aspect of compassionate boundaries is learning to say no with kindness. Saying no is not a rejection of the person, but a recognition of your limits. Phrasing your no in a way that expresses gratitude or care, such as, "I appreciate you asking, but I can't commit right now," softens the delivery while maintaining your boundary. This approach shows that you value the relationship even as you prioritize your well-being. Boundaries also strengthen your sense of identity. When you honor your limits, you affirm who you are and what you stand for. This self-respect reinforces your confidence, making it easier to navigate challenges and stand firm in your decisions. Compassionate boundaries are a reflection of your commitment to yourself, a reminder that you are worthy of care and consideration. Compassionate boundaries also involve recognizing and respecting the boundaries of others. Just as you need space and limits, so do the people in your life. By honoring their boundaries, you create a reciprocal dynamic of respect and trust. This mutual understanding strengthens your relationships, fostering deeper connection and collaboration. Setting boundaries with compassion creates freedom. When you are clear about your limits, you free yourself from the burden of overcommitment and people-pleasing. This freedom allows you to focus on what truly matters, creating a life that feels balanced, authentic, and fulfilling. Compassionate boundaries are not about separation. They are about creating the space for genuine connection, both with yourself and with others. Balancing kindness and self-respect through compassionate boundaries is an act of love for yourself and for the people in your life. It is a practice that requires courage, patience, and clarity, but the rewards are profound. Healthier relationships, greater peace, and a deeper sense of authenticity. By setting boundaries with compassion, you create a foundation for a life that honors your worth while fostering meaningful connections with the world around you. Setting compassionate boundaries allows you to protect your peace while fostering authentic connections. But life's challenges don't always respect the limits you carefully establish. Pain has a way of slipping through the cracks, touching the deepest parts of you, uninvited and relentless. Yet, within this pain lies an unparalleled opportunity, the chance to grow, to transform, to discover facets of yourself that remain hidden in comfort. Pain, when met with intention and reflection, becomes the soil in which growth takes root. A Zen approach offers a way to navigate this journey, not by resisting pain, but by embracing it as a profound teacher. The first step in transforming pain into growth is acceptance. Pain often triggers resistance, an instinctive push against what hurts, as though denial might make it disappear. But resistance only amplifies suffering, creating tension and prolonging the hurt. Acceptance doesn't mean you agree with or welcome pain. It means acknowledging its presence without judgment. This openness to pain allows you to see it clearly, laying the groundwork for transformation. Pain is not your enemy. It is a messenger, and acceptance is how you begin to understand its message. In pain, there is often a narrative, a story you tell yourself about why it happened, what it means, and how it defines you. These narratives can trap you in cycles of blame, shame, or self-pity. A Zen approach encourages you to step outside the story and observe the raw experience of pain without attaching labels or judgments. This observation creates distance between you and the pain, reminding you that while you feel it, you're not defined by it. Pain is an experience, not your identity, and this distinction is where growth begins. Pain also brings clarity. It strips away distractions, forcing you to confront what truly matters. In moments of suffering, you often gain insight into your deepest needs, values, and desires. This clarity can guide you toward more authentic choices, helping you align your actions with your true self. Pain has a way of cutting through the noise, revealing truths that might otherwise remain hidden. Growth comes from using these truths to make intentional changes in your life. The practice of mindfulness is invaluable in navigating pain. When you focus on the present moment, you ground yourself in reality rather than being swept away by fears of the future or regrets of the past. Mindfulness allows you to sit with your pain, observing it without being consumed by it. This practice builds resilience, teaching you that you can endure discomfort without losing your balance. In this stillness, you often find unexpected strength. Compassion, both for yourself and others, is a transformative force in times of pain. Self-compassion involves treating yourself with kindness rather than criticism, recognizing that suffering is a shared human experience. This compassion softens the edges of pain, creating a space for healing. At the same time, pain often deepens your empathy for others as it connects you to the universality of struggle. This expanded compassion becomes a bridge, turning your pain into a source of connection and understanding. Pain also challenges your perspective, inviting you to reframe how you view hardship. Instead of seeing pain as a punishment or setback, a Zen approach encourages you to view it as an opportunity for growth. Pain often forces you out of your comfort zone, pushing you to develop new strengths, skills, or perspectives. It is through adversity that you discover your resilience and adaptability, transforming what once seemed insurmountable into a stepping stone toward growth. One of the lessons pain teaches is impermanence. No matter how intense or persistent it feels, pain is not permanent. This awareness brings hope, reminding you that the discomfort you feel now will eventually pass. Impermanence also teaches you to cherish moments of peace and joy, knowing they too are fleeting. This balanced perspective helps you navigate both pain and pleasure with grace, finding meaning in the ebb and flow of life. Pain also invites you to let go of attachment. Often, the root of suffering lies not in the pain itself, but in the expectations, desires, or identities you cling to. A Zen approach encourages you to release these attachments, freeing yourself from the additional weight they bring. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means creating space for new possibilities to emerge. This act of release is not a loss, but a liberation, opening the door to growth. Another way to transform pain is through creative expression. Writing, painting, music, or movement can provide an outlet for the emotions that pain stirs within you. Creativity allows you to channel your suffering into something meaningful, giving shape to feelings that words alone cannot capture. This process not only helps you process pain, but also turns it into a source of beauty and inspiration. Pain also deepens your appreciation for joy. It is often through contrast that you come to value what brings you happiness and peace. Pain sharpens your awareness, teaching you to savor moments of lightness with greater gratitude. This heightened appreciation enriches your experience of life, reminding you that growth is not only found in overcoming hardship, but also in celebrating the simple joys that follow. Resilience grows in the face of pain. Each time you endure and learn from suffering, you build the inner strength to face future challenges with greater confidence. Resilience is not about avoiding pain, but about learning to navigate it with grace and courage. This strength becomes a foundation for your growth, allowing you to move forward even in the face of uncertainty. Connection to others also plays a vital role in transforming pain. Sharing your struggles with trusted friends, mentors, or communities reminds you that you are not alone. Others' perspectives can offer insights you might not see on your own, while their support provides comfort and encouragement. Pain often strengthens bonds, as it fosters vulnerability and authenticity in relationships. Through connection, pain becomes a shared experience, lightened by the presence of others. Growth through pain also requires patience. Transformation does not happen overnight. It is a gradual process that unfolds in its own time. Patience allows you to sit with discomfort without rushing to fix or escape it. This practice of patience teaches you to trust the process, knowing that growth often happens beneath the surface, even when it isn't immediately visible. Forgiveness is another powerful tool for transforming pain. Whether it's forgiving others, yourself, or circumstances, letting go of resentment frees you from the chains of anger and bitterness. Forgiveness doesn't excuse or erase the pain, but it allows you to move forward without being weighed down by it. This act of release creates space for healing and growth. Pain also pushes you to re-evaluate your priorities. It forces you to ask what truly matters and to let go of what no longer serves you. This clarity often leads to a realignment of your life, focusing on relationships, goals, or values that bring meaning and fulfillment. Pain becomes a catalyst for creating a life that feels more authentic and aligned with your true self. Pain teaches you to embrace vulnerability. Admitting that you are struggling, seeking help, or simply allowing yourself to feel deeply are acts of courage. Vulnerability opens the door to connection, healing, and growth, turning what once felt like weakness into a source of strength. In embracing vulnerability, you discover the depth of your resilience and the boundless potential for transformation. Transforming pain into growth is not an easy journey, but it is one filled with profound lessons and opportunities for self-discovery. Through acceptance, mindfulness, compassion, and patience, pain becomes more than just an obstacle. It becomes a path to greater strength, clarity, and connection. It is in the depths of suffering that the seeds of growth are often planted, blossoming into a life of deeper meaning and purpose. The growth born from pain teaches resilience, patience, and purpose. But another profound lesson remains: how to give and let go without clinging. Offering without expectation is one of the purest acts of selflessness, yet it is also one of the most misunderstood. So often we attach conditions to our giving, hoping for recognition, gratitude, or reciprocity. When these expectations are unmet, disappointment follows, revealing how tightly we've held onto the strings of our offerings. But like a tree that offers shade without asking who will rest beneath it, true strength lies in the grace of giving freely and releasing what is not ours to control. Giving without expectation begins with understanding that your worth is not tied to the responses of others. When you give purely from your heart, you affirm your values and intentions, regardless of the outcome. This kind of offering stems from abundance rather than need, transforming your actions into a reflection of who you are, rather than a transaction aimed at receiving something in return. This shift liberates you from the emotional weight of unfulfilled expectations, allowing you to give with joy and authenticity. Letting go gracefully starts with recognizing what is within your control. Often, attachment to outcomes leads to frustration because we expect our efforts to shape others' responses. Whether it's an act of kindness, a piece of advice, or a deep emotional investment, holding on to the need for a specific result only breeds tension. Releasing control doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you trust that what you offer will find its own place, even if it doesn't align with your expectations. This trust allows you to find peace in the act of giving itself. When you offer without expecting, you open yourself to the beauty of impermanence. Every action, no matter how thoughtful or meaningful, exists within the flow of life's constant changes. The tree that gives shade does not cling to the travelers who rest beneath it, nor does it seek validation for its offering. It simply provides, knowing its value comes from its nature, not from external acknowledgement. Embracing this perspective allows you to navigate relationships and situations with a sense of freedom, giving what you can without losing yourself in the process. Practicing this kind of detachment also deepens your self-awareness. When you examine why you give, you uncover the motivations that drive your actions. Are you seeking approval, hoping for something in return, or trying to influence an outcome? By reflecting on these questions, you cultivate a deeper understanding of yourself and the dynamics of your relationships. This awareness helps you align your actions with your values. ensuring that your giving comes from a place of integrity rather than obligation or expectation. Offering without expectation also nurtures your capacity for compassion. True compassion is not conditional. It doesn't hinge on how others respond or whether your efforts are appreciated. It is an open-hearted willingness to support others without seeking personal gain. This kind of giving enriches your spirit, fostering a sense of connection and purpose that is independent of external validation. Compassion, in its truest form, is a gift that flows both ways. It uplifts both the giver and the receiver. Letting go gracefully also involves practicing forgiveness. When your efforts are unacknowledged or misunderstood, it's easy to hold on to resentment. But forgiveness is not about excusing others' actions. It's about freeing yourself from the emotional burden of unmet expectations. By letting go of the need for others to act a certain way, you create space for healing and peace. This release is not just an act of kindness toward others, it is a profound act of self-care. Another essential element of offering without expectation is humility. True giving is not about showcasing your generosity or seeking recognition. It is about acting in alignment with your values and allowing your actions to speak for themselves. Humility ensures that your offerings remain genuine, untainted by the desire for praise or acknowledgement. It shifts your focus from how your actions are received to the intention behind them, fostering a deeper sense of fulfillment. Letting go gracefully also strengthens your resilience. When you are no longer tied to outcomes, you become less affected by disappointment or rejection. This detachment allows you to navigate life's uncertainties with a sense of steadiness, trusting that your efforts, even when unacknowledged, contribute to the greater good. Resilience born from this perspective is not about hardening yourself against pain, but about remaining open and engaged without being weighed down by what you cannot control. Offering without expectation also transforms your relationships. When you give freely, without strings attached, you create an environment of trust and authenticity. Others feel safe to be themselves, knowing that your actions are genuine rather than transactional. This kind of connection fosters deeper bonds, built on mutual respect and understanding, rather than the pressure to meet unspoken expectations. Letting go also involves embracing gratitude. When you release the need for validation, you begin to appreciate the act of giving itself. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you hope to receive to what you have already experienced. This perspective enriches your life, allowing you to find joy in the simplest acts of kindness and the smallest moments of connection. Gratitude, in this sense, becomes a form of abundance, reminding you that you have enough and are enough. The act of offering without expectation also cultivates patience. When you detach from immediate outcomes, you allow time and space for your efforts to have their impact. Not every act of kindness bears fruit right away, and some may never yield visible results. Patience teaches you to trust the process, knowing that your actions contribute to the greater flow of life in ways you may not yet see. This trust is a quiet strength, rooted in the understanding that growth and change take time. Letting go gracefully also challenges you to confront your ego. The desire for recognition or reciprocation often stems from a need to affirm your worth. But true self-worth is not dependent on how others respond. It is an internal state that remains steady regardless of external circumstances. By releasing the need for validation, you free yourself from the grip of ego, creating space for a deeper connection to your true self. Offering without expectation also invites you to practice simplicity. When you strip away the layers of conditions and attachments, you return to the essence of giving, a pure expression of care, support, and connection. This simplicity brings clarity and lightness to your actions, allowing you to engage with others more authentically. It reminds you that true generosity is not about grand gestures, but about the sincerity of your intention. Letting go gracefully also teaches you to embrace the present moment. When you are not fixated on outcomes or future results, you can fully immerse yourself in the act of giving. This presence deepens your connection to yourself and others, turning even the smallest acts into meaningful exchanges. It transforms giving from a means to an end into an experience of connection and purpose in its own right. Offering without expectation also fosters a sense of inner peace. When you release the need to control how your actions are received, you free yourself from the anxiety and tension that come with unmet expectations. This peace allows you to approach life with a sense of ease, knowing that your efforts are enough, regardless of how they are acknowledged. It is a peace that comes from within, unshaken by external circumstances. Letting go gracefully also aligns you with the flow of life. Just as a tree doesn't hold on to its leaves when autumn comes, you learn to release what is no longer needed with grace. This alignment with nature's cycles reminds you that letting go is not an end, but a transformation, making space for new growth and opportunities. The tree that stands tall, offering shade without expectation, teaches you that true strength lies in the ability to give freely and let go gracefully. By embracing this practice, you cultivate a life of authenticity, connection, and purpose, rooted in the understanding that your value is not tied to what you receive, but to who you are. This wisdom transforms not only how you give, but also how you live, creating a sense of freedom and fulfillment that no external acknowledgement could ever provide. Letting go gracefully transforms how you experience life, freeing you from the weight of expectations and attachments. But beneath this practice lies a deeper truth. True detachment is not about cutting yourself off from the world, but finding peace within it. Harmony emerges when you accept life as it is, without resistance or judgment. Acceptance, in its purest form, is not resignation. It is the doorway to freedom, where you embrace both joy and pain with equanimity. This Zen secret, often misunderstood, holds the power to release you from unnecessary suffering and guide you toward a life of peaceful detachment. Acceptance begins with seeing things as they truly are. Often, pain arises not from reality itself, but from the gap between what is and what we think should be. Resistance to reality creates tension, fueling frustration, anger, or disappointment. Acceptance dissolves this resistance, allowing you to meet the present moment with openness. This doesn't mean you agree with everything or give up on change. It means you start from a place of clarity and truth. By accepting what is, you create the foundation for meaningful growth. Peaceful detachment through acceptance also involves recognizing impermanence. Life is in constant motion, and clinging to what must inevitably change only deepens your suffering. Acceptance invites you to flow with life's changes rather than fighting against them. When you let go of the need to hold on to what was or control what will be, you free yourself to fully experience the present. This awareness of impermanence teaches you to cherish moments as they come, knowing they are fleeting but meaningful. Acceptance also shifts your relationship with pain. Instead of avoiding or suppressing discomfort, you learn to sit with it, observing its presence without being consumed by it. Pain, when met with acceptance, loses its ability to dominate your thoughts and emotions, This practice doesn't erase the difficulty, but transforms your experience of it, showing you that you can endure and grow through even the most challenging times. Finding harmony through acceptance also means embracing the complexities of relationships. People are imperfect, just as you are, and expecting them to always meet your needs or align with your expectations sets the stage for disappointment. Acceptance teaches you to honor others as they are, rather than trying to change them to fit your idea of who they should be. This doesn't mean tolerating harmful behavior. It means finding peace in understanding that each person is on their own journey. Acceptance also involves releasing judgment, both of yourself and others. Judgment creates barriers, reinforcing feelings of separation and conflict. By letting go of the need to label everything as good or bad, right or wrong, you open yourself to greater understanding. This openness fosters connection and empathy, allowing you to navigate life with less tension and more compassion. Acceptance becomes the bridge that brings harmony to even the most difficult situations. Peaceful detachment also requires releasing control. The desire to control outcomes, people, or circumstances often leads to frustration when reality doesn't align with your plans. Acceptance teaches you to focus on what you can influence, your actions, your mindset, your responses, and let go of the rest. This release is not about giving up. It is about trusting the flow of life and finding peace in uncertainty. When you accept that control is an illusion, you free yourself from unnecessary struggle. Acceptance also deepens your connection to yourself. Often the harshest judgments are directed inward, as you criticize yourself for perceived shortcomings or mistakes. Peaceful detachment begins with self-acceptance, recognizing that you are enough as you are. This doesn't mean you stop striving for growth. It means you approach yourself with kindness and patience, knowing that you are a work in progress. Self-acceptance creates the foundation for resilience and confidence, allowing you to face life's challenges with greater ease. Harmony through acceptance also requires patience. Growth, healing, and change take time, and rushing the process only creates more resistance. Acceptance teaches you to trust the unfolding of your journey, even when the path is unclear. This patience allows you to approach life with a sense of curiosity rather than urgency, finding meaning in each step rather than fixating on the destination. Acceptance also transforms how you handle failure. Instead of viewing mistakes as setbacks, you begin to see them as opportunities for learning and growth. Failure, when met with acceptance, becomes a teacher rather than a source of shame. This perspective empowers you to take risks, knowing that even when things don't go as planned, you are capable of adapting and moving forward. Acceptance turns failure into a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. Finding harmony through acceptance also involves embracing gratitude. When you accept life as it is, you begin to notice the small joys and blessings that are often overlooked in the rush to change or improve. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking to what is present, creating a sense of abundance and contentment. This practice doesn't ignore challenges, but reminds you that even amidst difficulty, there is much to appreciate. Acceptance also invites you to trust in life's unfolding. While it's natural to seek certainty, life is inherently unpredictable. Peaceful detachment comes from embracing this uncertainty, finding confidence not in knowing what will happen but in your ability to navigate whatever comes. This trust creates a sense of freedom, allowing you to approach life with openness and curiosity rather than fear. Another aspect of acceptance is letting go of comparisons. Comparing yourself to others only fuels dissatisfaction and insecurity, as it shifts your focus from your unique journey to someone else's path. Acceptance teaches you to honor your own progress, recognizing that your worth is not diminished by others' successes. This shift creates harmony within, freeing you from the constant pressure to measure up. Acceptance also nurtures forgiveness. Holding on to resentment or grudges only binds you to the past, preventing you from moving forward. Forgiveness is not about excusing hurtful actions, but about freeing yourself from their hold. By accepting what has happened and choosing to let go, you create space for healing and peace. Forgiveness, rooted in acceptance, becomes a gift you give to yourself. Peaceful detachment through acceptance also enhances your ability to adapt. Life rarely goes exactly as planned, and rigid expectations only create frustration when things don't align. Acceptance teaches you to embrace flexibility, adjusting to changes with grace rather than resistance. This adaptability allows you to find harmony even in the midst of chaos, turning challenges into opportunities for growth. Acceptance brings you back to the present moment. So much of life's tension comes from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Acceptance grounds you in the here and now, where life is actually happening. This presence allows you to engage fully with your experiences, finding meaning and beauty in the ordinary. It reminds you that peace is not something to chase, it is something to uncover within yourself. The Zen secret of peaceful detachment is not about withdrawing from life, but embracing it fully, with all its imperfections and uncertainties. Acceptance becomes the foundation for this harmony, allowing you to navigate life with clarity, compassion, and resilience. By finding peace within yourself, you create a ripple of calm that touches everything around you, transforming not only your own experience, but the world you inhabit. Finding harmony through acceptance reveals the power of peace within, yet the mind often disrupts that peace, pulling you into endless cycles of overthinking, doubt, and distraction. These thoughts, left unchecked, can become relentless masters, dictating your emotions and actions. The ability to stop your thoughts from controlling you is not about silencing the mind completely, but about learning to guide it, to find stillness within its noise, and to reclaim your inner space. This is where the wisdom of Buddhism and Zen offers a path, not through force, but through understanding and intentional practice. Thoughts gain power when you resist them. The first step in releasing their grip is to observe without judgment. Thoughts, like clouds in the sky, come and go. By recognizing them as passing phenomena rather than fixed truths, you create distance between yourself and your mental chatter. This practice of observation helps you see your thoughts as separate from who you are, freeing you from their control. You are the observer, not the thought. Mindfulness anchors you in the present moment, pulling you out of the whirlwind of past regrets and future anxieties. Focusing on your breath, the sensation of your body, or the sounds around you creates a grounding effect. This focus reduces the mind's tendency to wander, bringing clarity and calm. Mindfulness is not about eliminating thoughts, but about choosing where to direct your attention, allowing you to break free from mental loops. Practicing gratitude shifts the mind's focus from what is lacking to what is present. The mind often fixates on problems, amplifying worries and discontent. Gratitude interrupts this cycle, redirecting your energy toward appreciation. By listing even small things you are thankful for, you retrain your mind to seek the positive, reducing the weight of intrusive thoughts. Gratitude practiced consistently, transforms your mental landscape. Acceptance plays a key role in breaking free from mental control. Thoughts often become overwhelming because you resist them, trying to push them away or wishing they weren't there. This resistance gives them strength. Accepting the presence of your thoughts without judgment reduces their power. It's not about agreeing with them, but about letting them be without letting them dominate. Engaging in physical activity can also quiet the mind. Movement shifts your focus from the abstract world of thoughts to the tangible sensations of your body. Activities like walking, yoga, or even simple stretching create a meditative state, grounding you in the present. This physical connection often reduces mental overactivity, creating space for clarity and peace. Simplifying your surroundings can have a profound impact on your mental state. Clutter in your environment often mirrors clutter in your mind. Creating a clean, organized space reduces overstimulation, helping your thoughts settle. The act of simplifying also becomes a mindfulness practice, teaching you to focus on what truly matters and let go of unnecessary distractions. Practicing intentional breathing helps regulate your mind's activity. Slow, deep breaths calm your nervous system, signaling to your brain that it is safe to relax. This practice not only reduces stress, but also interrupts the flow of overwhelming thoughts. Focusing on your breath creates a natural rhythm that steadies your mind, bringing you back to balance. Cultivating self-compassion is essential for managing intrusive thoughts. The mind often spirals into self-criticism, amplifying negative patterns. Treating yourself with kindness, as you would a close friend, interrupts this cycle. Self-compassion reminds you that thoughts are not a measure of your worth, and that you are allowed to struggle without judgment. This gentleness creates a supportive inner environment. Engaging with a creative activity shifts your focus from overthinking to expression. Painting, writing, playing music, or even cooking allows you to channel your mental energy into something tangible. Creativity bypasses the analytical mind, inviting a sense of flow and presence. This expression transforms restless thoughts into a source of inspiration and meaning. Limiting your intake of information helps quiet a busy mind. Constant exposure to news, social media, and external noise overwhelms your thoughts, making it harder to focus. Setting boundaries around when and how you consume information reduces mental clutter. This intentional consumption creates space for stillness and reflection, helping you regain control over your thoughts. Practicing a mantra or affirmation redirects your mind's focus. Repeating a positive phrase or word creates a mental anchor, breaking the cycle of negative or overwhelming thoughts. This practice is not about forcing positivity, but about creating a point of calm within the mind's activity. A mantra becomes a refuge, reminding you of your strength and stability. Connecting with nature soothes an overactive mind. Spending time outdoors, whether in a park, forest, or even a garden, shifts your focus to the natural rhythms of the world. Observing the movement of leaves, the sound of birds, or the flow of water calms the mind, grounding you in something larger than yourself. Nature's simplicity offers a powerful antidote to mental overactivity. Setting small, achievable goals gives your mind a sense of purpose. Overthinking often arises from feeling overwhelmed or uncertain. Breaking tasks into manageable steps creates clarity, helping you focus on what you can do now rather than getting lost in the big picture. This practice not only reduces anxiety, but also builds confidence and momentum. Engaging in a mindfulness practice like meditation trains your mind to let go of distractions. Sitting quietly and focusing on your breath or a point of attention teaches you to observe your thoughts without becoming attached to them. Meditation doesn't stop thoughts. It changes your relationship with them, allowing you to remain steady even amidst mental noise. Developing a sense of curiosity about your thoughts transforms how you experience them. Instead of seeing them as problems to solve, approach them with interest. Ask yourself where they come from, what they reveal about your emotions, or what patterns they follow. Curiosity creates a sense of detachment, turning your thoughts into opportunities for insight rather than sources of stress. Practicing detachment helps you release the grip of persistent thoughts. Detachment doesn't mean ignoring or suppressing your mind's activity. It means recognizing that you are not your thoughts. By observing them as fleeting and temporary, you free yourself from their influence. This perspective creates space for clarity and peace, even when the mind is active. Spending time in silence strengthens your ability to manage your thoughts. In a world filled with constant noise, silence creates a rare opportunity to connect with your inner self. Sitting in quiet reflection allows you to hear your thoughts more clearly and process them without distraction. This practice helps you build resilience, teaching you to find calm within chaos. Practicing forgiveness helps you release thoughts tied to past pain or resentment. Holding on to grudges or regrets keeps your mind trapped in a cycle of reliving the past. Forgiveness is not about excusing actions, but about freeing yourself from their hold. By letting go, you create space for new thoughts and experiences to emerge. Engaging in acts of kindness shifts your focus outward. When you help others, your mind often quiets as it becomes absorbed in the act of giving. Kindness creates a sense of purpose and connection, breaking the cycle of self-focused overthinking. This practice not only benefits others, but also brings peace to your own mind. Focusing on your senses brings you back to the present. Overthinking pulls you into an abstract world, disconnected from your body and surroundings. Tuning into what you see, hear, smell, taste, or touch anchors you in the here and now. This sensory awareness interrupts mental spirals, creating a direct connection to reality. Embracing impermanence reminds you that thoughts, like all things, are temporary. No matter how overwhelming they feel in the moment, they will pass. This awareness helps you approach your mind's activity with patience and perspective, reducing its control over you. By trusting in the flow of life, you find freedom from the tyranny of overthinking. These practices, rooted in Buddhism and Zen, offer a path to reclaiming your inner peace. They teach you not to fight your thoughts, but to guide them, to observe them without attachment, and to find stillness amidst the mind's movement. In doing so, you transform your relationship with your thoughts, turning them from masters into companions on your journey. Learning to quiet the mind and free yourself from overwhelming thoughts opens the path to clarity and presence. Yet fear often lurks in the background, holding you back from living fully and authentically. Fear, whether subtle or overwhelming, has the power to shape your decisions, limit your potential, and dim your light. But through the timeless wisdom of Buddhist teachings, fear can transform from a paralyzing force into a profound teacher. These lessons show how to dismantle fear at its core, not through avoidance or resistance, but through understanding and liberation. Fear often arises from attachment, clinging to what you want to preserve or avoiding what you dread to lose. The first step in stopping fear is recognizing the impermanence of all things. Buddhist philosophy teaches that nothing in life is fixed or eternal. Everything flows, changes, and evolves. This awareness does not erase uncertainty, but reframes it. When you accept that everything, including fear, is temporary, you no longer feel trapped by it. Impermanence invites you to embrace the present, knowing that fear itself will eventually dissolve like a wave receding from the shore. Fear is also fueled by the unknown, by the stories the mind creates about what might happen. Buddhist teachings encourage cultivating mindfulness as a tool to anchor yourself in the present. Fear thrives in the abstract, future anxieties or past regrets. But in the here and now, its power weakens. Mindfulness draws your attention to your breath, your surroundings, or the sensations in your body, breaking fear's hold by grounding you in reality. Through mindfulness, you learn to observe fear without judgment, understanding it without letting it dominate. Another key lesson in overcoming fear is learning to let go of control. Fear often emerges from the desire to control outcomes, to ensure safety and predictability. This grasping creates tension and anxiety, as life rarely conforms to your plans. Buddhism teaches the value of surrender, not as defeat, but as trust. By releasing the need to control every detail, you open yourself to the flow of life, reducing the resistance that fear feeds on. Surrendering control is not about passivity. It is about finding strength in adaptability and grace in uncertainty. Compassion, both for yourself and others, is a transformative practice in addressing fear. Fear often isolates, making you feel alone in your struggles. Cultivating compassion connects you to the shared human experience of vulnerability and challenge. When you treat yourself with kindness, acknowledging your fears without judgment, you soften their grip. Compassion for others also shifts your focus outward, reminding you that fear is universal and that courage grows through connection and understanding. Fear often creates a sense of separation, dividing you from your own courage and resilience. One of Buddhism's profound teachings is the practice of non-attachment to self, or the idea that the self is not a fixed entity, but a collection of changing experiences and perceptions. When you stop clinging to a rigid identity, whether as someone who must be fearless or as someone overwhelmed by fear, you create space for transformation. This detachment allows you to approach fear with curiosity, exploring its origins and meanings, rather than being consumed by it. Buddhism also teaches the importance of finding balance through the middle way, avoiding extremes of indulgence or denial. Fear often pushes you to extremes, either overreacting or avoiding situations entirely. The middle way encourages a steady, thoughtful response to fear. It's about acknowledging the fear without amplifying it, addressing it without letting it dictate your actions. This balanced approach cultivates a sense of steadiness and clarity, enabling you to act with intention rather than reactivity. Another transformative practice is meditation, which offers a space to confront and dissolve fear. Through meditation, you create a container where you can safely observe your fears, allowing them to surface without judgment. This practice helps you see fear for what it is, an emotion, not an unchangeable truth. Over time, meditation builds resilience, teaching you to sit with discomfort and find peace even in uncertainty. The stillness of meditation becomes a sanctuary where fear loses its intensity. Buddhism emphasizes the interconnectedness of all things, which reshapes how you view fear. Often, fear narrows your perspective, making problems seem insurmountable. Recognizing that your fears are part of a larger web of experiences and relationships provides context and perspective. Interconnectedness reminds you that fear is not isolated. It is influenced by and influences other aspects of your life. This broader view reduces the intensity of fear, helping you approach it with greater wisdom. Gratitude is another powerful antidote to fear. Fear focuses on what might go wrong, but gratitude shifts your attention to what is right. Practicing gratitude creates a sense of abundance, countering the scarcity mindset that fear often breeds. By appreciating the present moment and the blessings within it, you weaken fear's hold. Gratitude teaches you that even amidst uncertainty, there is much to value and cherish. A key Buddhist teaching is embracing imperfection. Fear often arises from the pressure to be perfect or to avoid failure. By accepting that imperfection is a natural part of life, you release the unrealistic standards that fuel anxiety. This acceptance creates freedom, allowing you to act with courage even when the outcome is uncertain. Embracing imperfection transforms fear from a barrier into a stepping stone for growth. Generosity also plays a surprising role in overcoming fear. When you give, whether time, attention, or resources, you step outside of yourself, shifting your focus from internal fears to external connections. Generosity fosters a sense of purpose and community, reducing the isolation that fear often creates. It reminds you that you have something to offer, reinforcing your sense of agency and resilience. Buddhism teaches the value of patience, which is essential in working through fear. Fear often demands immediate resolution, creating a sense of urgency and panic. Patience allows you to sit with fear, giving it the time and space to unfold and dissipate naturally. This practice teaches you that fear is not permanent and that with time, its intensity will fade. Patience also helps you approach fear with gentleness, reducing the struggle and resistance that amplify it. One of the most liberating lessons from Buddhism is the understanding that fear is not something to be defeated, but something to be understood. Fear carries messages about your values, your desires, and your vulnerabilities. By listening to these messages, you gain insight into yourself and your path. This perspective transforms fear from an enemy into a guide, showing you where growth and healing are needed. Courage, in the Buddhist sense, is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to face it with presence and awareness. Courage grows each time you confront your fears, no matter how small the step. Each act of bravery reinforces your ability to handle discomfort, building a foundation of confidence and strength. Courage is not about eliminating fear, but about moving forward despite it. Buddhism teaches the importance of focusing on what you can control. Fear often arises from fixating on what lies beyond your influence. By directing your energy toward actions and attitudes within your control, you reduce the overwhelm that fear creates. This focus brings clarity and empowerment, helping you navigate challenges with steadiness and purpose. Through these teachings, fear transforms from a force that holds you back into an opportunity for growth and change. By embracing impermanence, practicing mindfulness, cultivating compassion, and finding balance, you learn to stop fear from controlling you. Instead, fear becomes a teacher, guiding you toward a life of greater courage, clarity, and freedom. Fear teaches valuable lessons about resilience and courage, but the next step in transformation lies in shifting the focus inward, to your own life, your own path, and your own growth. Too often, energy is scattered across external distractions, comparisons, and the endless noise of the world. True clarity, fulfillment and motivation come from grounding yourself in your own journey. The teachings of Buddhism offer profound insights on how to focus your energy where it matters most, creating a life aligned with your values and aspirations. Focusing on your life begins with letting go of comparisons. Comparing your progress, possessions, or path to others steals your energy and shifts your attention away from what truly matters. The Buddhist principle of right intention reminds you that your life is unique, shaped by your experiences, values, and purpose. When you stop looking outward for validation, you free yourself to pursue your own goals without distraction. This focus transforms your actions into deliberate steps forward rather than reactive attempts to keep up. Another aspect of focusing on your life is simplifying your priorities. Life often feels overwhelming because energy is spread too thin, trying to do everything and please everyone. Buddhism teaches the importance of clarity, understanding what truly matters and letting go of what does not. When you identify your core values and align your actions with them, you create a sense of purpose and direction. This clarity allows you to focus on fewer things with greater intention, amplifying your impact and reducing stress. The practice of mindfulness anchors you in the present moment, helping you focus on what is within your control. The mind often wanders to past regrets or future worries, scattering your energy. Mindfulness teaches you to return to the now, where life is actually unfolding. By focusing on the present, you engage fully with your tasks, relationships, and experiences, turning ordinary moments into meaningful ones. This focus not only enhances your productivity, but also deepens your sense of connection to your life. Letting go of distractions is another key to focusing on your life. The modern world is filled with noise, notifications, endless scrolling, and the constant pull of external demands. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of simplicity and intentionality. By reducing distractions, you create space to focus on what truly fulfills you. This practice involves setting boundaries, such as designated times for work, rest, and reflection, ensuring that your energy is directed toward what matters most. Focusing on your life also requires cultivating self-discipline. Discipline is not about forcing yourself to follow rigid rules, but about making choices that align with your values and long-term goals. Each act of discipline builds momentum, reinforcing your ability to stay on track even when distractions or challenges arise. Buddhism teaches the importance of right effort, consistent, mindful action that moves you closer to your aspirations. Discipline becomes a tool for self-respect and growth, helping you honor your commitments to yourself. Another transformative practice is embracing impermanence. Life is constantly changing, and clinging to the past or resisting change only creates tension. Focusing on your life means accepting its fluid nature and adapting with grace. When you embrace impermanence, you stop wasting energy on what cannot be controlled and instead channel it toward growth and resilience. This perspective helps you let go of what no longer serves you, creating space for new opportunities and experiences. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is missing to what is present. It is easy to become consumed by what you have yet to achieve or acquire, but gratitude reminds you of the abundance already in your life. By appreciating your journey, your relationships, and your progress, you cultivate a sense of contentment and fulfillment. This mindset fuels your motivation as you recognize that each step forward is a gift and a privilege. Focusing on your life also involves cultivating compassion for yourself. The path to growth is rarely linear, and setbacks or mistakes can easily lead to self-criticism. Buddhism teaches the importance of self-compassion, treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend. This practice allows you to learn from challenges without being weighed down by them. Self-compassion keeps you moving forward, grounded in the understanding that growth is a process, not a destination. Another key to focusing on your life is setting clear intentions. Intention is the foundation of meaningful action. When your actions are guided by clear intentions, they gain purpose and direction. Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of aligning your intentions with your values, ensuring that your choices reflect who you truly are. This alignment creates harmony between your thoughts, words, and actions, strengthening your focus and resolve. Letting go of attachment to outcomes is another vital practice. Focusing on your life does not mean fixating on specific results, but staying present and committed to the process. Buddhism teaches that attachment to results creates unnecessary suffering, as outcomes are often beyond your control. By focusing on your efforts rather than the end goal, you find joy in the journey itself. This shift allows you to remain steady and motivated, regardless of external circumstances. Building resilience is also essential for focusing on your life. Challenges and setbacks are inevitable, but they do not define you. Resilience is the ability to adapt and grow in the face of adversity. Buddhist teachings on non-attachment remind you that difficulties, like all things, are temporary. This awareness helps you navigate challenges with strength and grace, using them as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles to your progress. Connecting with your purpose brings clarity and motivation to your life. Purpose is not about grand achievements, but about aligning your actions with what brings meaning and fulfillment. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of living with intention and awareness, creating a sense of purpose in even the smallest acts. When you connect with your purpose, you create a guiding light that keeps you focused and inspired, even in the face of distractions or doubts. Cultivating patience is another crucial aspect of focusing on your life. Growth takes time, and rushing the process only creates frustration. Patience allows you to stay committed to your path without being discouraged by slow progress. Buddhism teaches the value of steady, mindful effort, reminding you that each small step contributes to the larger journey. Patience transforms your focus from immediate results to lasting growth. Another practice that sharpens your focus is embracing the present moment. The mind often gets caught up in what has been or what might be, but the present is where life unfolds. By grounding yourself in the here and now, you fully engage with your experiences, relationships, and goals. This presence enhances your ability to make thoughtful decisions, deepen your connections, and find fulfillment in your daily life. Focusing on your life also requires releasing the need for external validation. When you seek approval or recognition from others, your energy shifts outward, leaving less room for self-awareness and growth. Buddhism teaches the importance of finding value within yourself, rather than seeking it externally. This practice creates a sense of inner stability, allowing you to stay true to your path without being swayed by external opinions. Focusing on your life involves creating space for reflection. Reflection allows you to evaluate your actions, intentions, and progress, ensuring that you remain aligned with your values. Buddhist practices like meditation and journaling provide tools for introspection, helping you reconnect with yourself and your purpose. Reflection is not about dwelling on mistakes, but about learning from them, creating a continuous cycle of growth and self-awareness. By grounding yourself in these teachings, you create a life that is focused, intentional, and fulfilling. Each practice, whether mindfulness, discipline, or gratitude, strengthens your connection to your path and your purpose. Through the wisdom of Buddhism, you learn to direct your energy inward, building a life that reflects your true self and aspirations. In this focused state, you find clarity, resilience, and the motivation to move forward with confidence and grace. Redirecting focus toward your own growth builds a sense of clarity and intention, yet even with purpose, anxiety often lingers in the shadows, stealing peace and creating unrest. Anxiety is an uninvited companion, whispering doubts and multiplying fears, keeping the mind tethered to uncertainty. Buddha's teachings offer a profound remedy, not by erasing anxiety, but by transforming your relationship with it. Through understanding, mindfulness, and acceptance, anxiety can shift from an overwhelming force to a signal of growth, teaching you to navigate life with steadiness and grace. Anxiety often stems from the attachment to control. The desire to dictate outcomes, avoid discomfort, or ensure certainty fuels a restless mind, constantly scanning for threats or potential failures. Buddha's teaching on non-attachment reminds you that control is an illusion. Life flows unpredictably, shaped by countless forces beyond your grasp. Letting go of this need for control creates space for acceptance, softening anxiety's grip. By focusing on what you can influence, your actions, thoughts, and responses, you reclaim power and release the unnecessary burden of what lies beyond your reach. The practice of mindfulness is a cornerstone in eliminating anxiety. Anxiety thrives in the abstract, pulling you into imagined futures or unresolved pasts. Mindfulness draws your attention to the present, anchoring you in what is real and immediate. When you focus on your breath, the sensations of your body, or the sounds around you, anxiety loses its foothold. Mindfulness is not about dismissing anxious thoughts, but about observing them without judgment, recognizing them as passing clouds rather than permanent truths. This detachment allows you to engage with the present moment fully, reducing the mental noise that anxiety creates. Buddha's teaching on impermanence offers a liberating perspective on anxiety. Nothing in life, whether joy, sorrow, or fear, lasts forever. Anxiety, no matter how intense, is temporary. This understanding brings a sense of hope, reminding you that the discomfort you feel now will pass, just as all things do. Embracing impermanence also shifts your focus from resisting anxiety to allowing it to exist without taking over. When you accept its fleeting nature, you free yourself from the cycle of fearing its return. Compassion is a powerful antidote to anxiety. Anxiety often isolates, creating feelings of inadequacy or disconnection. Practicing self-compassion reminds you that anxiety is a shared human experience, not a personal failure. When you treat yourself with kindness during moments of distress, you create a supportive inner environment where healing can occur. Compassion for others also broadens your perspective, reminding you that everyone carries their own struggles. This connection eases the loneliness that anxiety often brings, fostering a sense of unity and understanding. Anxiety often exaggerates the unknown, amplifying fears of what might happen. Buddha's teachings encourage you to approach uncertainty with curiosity rather than dread. When you shift from fearing the unknown to exploring it, you transform anxiety into a source of discovery. Curiosity invites you to ask questions, seek understanding, and remain open to possibilities. This shift reduces the paralysis of fear, replacing it with a sense of engagement and adaptability. The concept of right intention provides a framework for navigating anxiety. When your intentions are clear and aligned with your values, you create a sense of purpose that steadies you amidst uncertainty. Anxiety often clouds your vision, making decisions feel overwhelming or fraught with risk. By grounding yourself in right intention, you clarify your path, ensuring that your actions reflect your true self rather than reactive fears. This alignment creates confidence and calm, helping you move forward with clarity. Breathing practices are a simple yet profound tool for calming anxiety. Slow, deliberate breaths signal to your body that it is safe, reducing the physiological responses associated with fear. Focusing on your breath also redirects your attention away from spiraling thoughts, bringing you back to the present moment. This practice not only soothes immediate anxiety, but also builds resilience over time, teaching your body and mind to respond to stress with steadiness. Gratitude shifts the mind's focus from what could go wrong to what is already right. Anxiety often fixates on potential losses or failures, creating a sense of scarcity. Gratitude counters this by highlighting abundance and blessings, no matter how small. Practicing gratitude regularly rewires your thought patterns, making it easier to see the positive even in challenging situations. This perspective reduces anxiety's hold, fostering a sense of contentment and trust in life's flow. Another aspect of Buddha's teachings that helps with anxiety is the practice of detachment from identity. Anxiety often stems from clinging to roles or labels, being a perfect parent, a successful professional, or a flawless friend. These attachments create pressure and amplify fears of failure. Buddhism reminds you that identity is fluid, not fixed. By letting go of rigid self-concepts, you free yourself from the weight of expectations, allowing you to navigate life with greater ease and authenticity. Meditation provides a space to observe and understand anxiety without being consumed by it. Sitting quietly with your thoughts allows you to explore the roots of your fears, uncovering the beliefs or patterns that fuel them. This awareness brings clarity, helping you address anxiety at its source, rather than just managing its symptoms. Meditation also strengthens your ability to remain present, creating a refuge of stillness amidst life's uncertainties. Anxiety often creates a sense of separation, as though you are alone in your struggles. The Buddhist teaching of interconnectedness reminds you that you are part of a larger web of existence. This perspective reduces the isolation that anxiety brings, replacing it with a sense of belonging and support. Interconnectedness also encourages you to seek help or share your experiences, breaking the silence that often surrounds anxiety. Practicing acceptance is another key to reducing anxiety. Resistance to what is, whether a situation, emotion, or thought, only amplifies distress. Acceptance does not mean resignation. It means acknowledging reality without judgment or resistance. This openness creates space for change and growth, allowing you to respond to challenges with clarity rather than reactivity. Acceptance transforms anxiety from an obstacle into a stepping stone for resilience. Acts of kindness can also reduce anxiety by shifting your focus outward. Helping others, even in small ways, breaks the cycle of self-focused worry that anxiety creates. Kindness fosters connection and purpose, reminding you that you have the power to make a positive impact. This sense of agency counters the helplessness that often accompanies anxiety, replacing it with a sense of empowerment and fulfillment. Simplifying your life reduces the mental clutter that fuels anxiety. When you focus on what truly matters, letting go of unnecessary commitments or possessions, you create space for peace and clarity. Simplification is not about deprivation but about intentionality, choosing to invest your energy in what aligns with your values. This practice reduces overwhelm, helping you approach life with greater calm and focus. The practice of forgiveness, both for yourself and others, also eases anxiety. Holding on to resentment or guilt creates an undercurrent of tension that amplifies fear and worry. Forgiveness is not about excusing actions, but about releasing their hold on you. By letting go of past grievances, you free yourself to move forward without the weight of unresolved emotions. Anxiety often distorts your perception of challenges, making them seem insurmountable. Buddha's teachings encourage breaking problems into smaller, manageable steps. This approach reduces the overwhelm that anxiety brings, helping you focus on what you can do now rather than the entirety of a situation. Each small step builds confidence and momentum, turning fear into action. Finding joy in the present moment counters anxiety's tendency to dwell on the past or future. Joy does not require perfect circumstances. It is found in simple pleasures, a shared laugh, a beautiful sunset, or the warmth of a loved one's presence. By seeking moments of joy, you shift your focus from what is missing to what is present, reducing anxiety's influence. Buddha's teaching on balance offers a path to stability amidst anxiety. Balance involves tending to all aspects of your life: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. When one area is neglected, anxiety often fills the gap. By creating harmony in your routines, relationships, and self-care practices, you build a foundation of resilience that supports you through challenges. Through these teachings, anxiety transforms from a force of disruption into a teacher of presence, patience, and perspective. By grounding yourself in mindfulness, compassion, and acceptance, you learn to navigate anxiety with grace, reclaiming your peace and confidence along the way. Anxiety fades when clarity and calm take its place. But there is another tool that holds immense power in navigating life's complexities: silence. In a world filled with noise, silence becomes a profound act of strength and wisdom. It is not merely the absence of words, but the presence of awareness, the intentional pause that allows understanding to emerge. Silence is often misunderstood as passivity, but in its depth lies the ability to heal, to redirect energy, and to disarm chaos. Zen philosophy reveals that there are moments where silence is not only the best choice, but the most transformative one. Silence can protect your peace in moments of conflict. When emotions run high, words often escalate the tension, turning disagreements into battles. In such moments, silence becomes a shield, creating a space where emotions can settle and perspectives can shift. It is not avoidance, but a strategic pause that allows you to respond rather than react. Zen teaches that silence invites reflection, both for you and the other person. It offers an opportunity for understanding to emerge without the interference of hurried words. This quiet strength can dissolve hostility, leaving room for resolution. In moments of criticism or provocation, silence holds unmatched power. Reacting to every opinion or attack drains energy and often validates the negativity directed toward you. Silence, on the other hand, disarms. It sends a clear message that your sense of self is not tied to external judgments. This quiet confidence often leaves others reflecting on their words, as your silence denies them the satisfaction of control. In Zen, This is a practice of non-reaction, not to suppress, but to transcend the need for validation or defense. Silence becomes your armor, shielding you from unnecessary conflict. When faced with uncertainty or the need to make a critical decision, silence becomes a sanctuary for clarity. Words often rush forward in an attempt to fill the void of the unknown, but they can cloud judgment. Pausing in silence allows your mind to settle, revealing the truth hidden beneath the noise. Zen stories often highlight how moments of stillness lead to profound insights, not because answers are forced, but because they are allowed to surface naturally. Silence becomes the space where wisdom can emerge, guiding your actions with purpose and precision. Silence also plays a vital role in observing and learning. In moments where you are surrounded by new experiences or unfamiliar situations, speaking too soon can limit understanding. By staying silent, you open yourself to the nuances of what is unfolding around you. This practice of listening and observing allows you to absorb more than words could ever teach. Zen emphasizes that silence sharpens awareness, connecting you to the subtleties of life that often go unnoticed. In this way, silence becomes a tool for growth, expanding your perspective and deepening your understanding. Another powerful use of silence is in moments of overwhelming emotion. When anger, sadness, or fear threaten to take over, speaking impulsively often magnifies the turmoil. Silence creates a buffer, giving you time to process and reflect. In Zen, this practice is likened to allowing muddy water to settle, revealing clarity once the agitation subsides. Silence during emotional storms is not suppression, but a form of self-care, ensuring that your words, when they come, are thoughtful and aligned with your values. Silence also holds space for others in moments of vulnerability. When someone shares their pain or struggles, the urge to fill the space with advice or solutions often arises. But sometimes, the most profound support comes from simply being present in silence. This quiet companionship communicates empathy and understanding without the need for words. Zen teachings emphasize the power of holding space, allowing others to feel seen and heard without interruption. Silence in these moments becomes a gift of presence, fostering connection and trust. In moments of internal doubt or self-criticism, silence allows you to confront your thoughts without judgment. The mind often races to fill quiet moments with worries, regrets, or imagined scenarios. Sitting with these thoughts in silence teaches you to observe them without becoming entangled. Zen stories often illustrate this practice as sitting with a restless monkey. The mind may jump from thought to thought, but your stillness reminds you that you are not the monkey. This detachment reduces the power of self-critical thoughts, replacing them with a sense of calm and clarity. Silence also protects your energy when faced with unnecessary debates or arguments. Not every situation requires your input, and choosing silence in such moments preserves your peace. Zen philosophy teaches that engaging in meaningless conflict often feeds it, while silence diffuses it. This practice is not about avoiding difficult conversations, but about discerning which battles are worth your energy. Silence becomes a way of choosing peace without compromising your integrity, ensuring that your focus remains on what truly matters. In moments of deep gratitude or awe, silence speaks louder than words. Trying to express profound emotions often falls short, as words can never fully capture the depth of certain experiences. Zen teaches that silence allows you to fully immerse yourself in these moments, connecting with them on a level beyond language. This quiet appreciation enhances your presence, deepening your connection to the beauty and wonder of life. Silence in these instances, becomes a celebration, a reverence for what is too vast to be confined by speech. Practicing silence also fosters humility. Speaking often stems from the desire to assert, prove, or control. Silence reminds you that not every thought needs to be voiced, and that wisdom often lies in restraint. Zen philosophy encourages this humility, teaching that silence creates space for growth, both in yourself and in those around you. It is a reminder that you do not have to fill every moment with noise to have value. Sometimes, your silence says more than words ever could. In moments of shared silence with others, a profound sense of connection can arise. Without the distractions of words, you become attuned to subtler forms of communication, gestures, expressions, energy. Zen stories often highlight the power of shared silence in building trust and understanding. This quiet presence fosters a bond that transcends words, creating a space where authenticity and empathy thrive. Silence also allows you to step back and see the bigger picture. Words often anchor you to immediate concerns, narrowing your perspective. In silence, you can zoom out, gaining clarity and insight into the broader context of your situation. This expanded view helps you approach challenges with wisdom and intention, guided by the understanding that everything is part of a larger whole. Zen teachings often use the metaphor of a mountain view. Silence is what allows you to step back and see the landscape in its entirety. Silence connects you to your inner self. In the busyness of daily life, your true voice can be drowned out by external demands and expectations. Silence provides the space to reconnect, to listen to your intuition and inner wisdom. Zen emphasizes that this inner connection is where true peace resides, untouched by the chaos of the outside world. In silence, you rediscover your center, grounding yourself in the strength and clarity that comes from within. Through these practices, silence transforms from a void into a powerful presence. It becomes a tool for reflection, connection, and growth, guiding you through life's complexities with wisdom and grace. By embracing silence in these key moments, you unlock its potential to heal, to clarify, and to inspire, creating a life that is as meaningful in its pauses as it is in its words. When you step back and embrace detachment, you discover a profound truth. Your worth has never been tied to how others perceive you. By practicing silence, focusing on your self-worth, and letting go with grace, you unlock an unshakable inner peace. Zen teaches us that life's struggles are not barriers, but teachers, guiding us to greater strength and clarity. Turning rejection into redirection, reclaiming your energy, and setting compassionate boundaries allow you to live authentically, free from the weight of external validation. Every step in this journey brings you closer to your truest self, where acceptance and balance replace the need to chase what was never yours to hold. Now it's your turn to reflect. Which of these lessons resonated with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else to find their strength. If you found value in these insights, subscribe to the channel and join a community of seekers discovering the transformative power of Zen and Buddhism. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss a moment of wisdom on your path to inner peace. Your journey begins here.